Another game, a long day, a job well done, and the final work call. Where your place? Come as you are and fit in comfortably. Mr. Mice, eat locally, enjoy casual.
Stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on, every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance.
Pushing limits.
Seizing victory.
When victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
it's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable.
And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms? Light as a feather.
It's a gold line.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a gold line.
And is the choice of champions.
It has happened where people just haven't noticed and they've run out of time. I'm like, sounds good. Oh, overcooked it a bit. Jeez.
Clean! Keep going, keep going! Keep going! Keep going! Keep going! Keep going! Keep going! Keep going!
-1,000 flash will win Apres Curl.
Oh, they're really sweeping this, boys.
They're
really sweeping this. Oh, boy, you can't give up a steal here.
Oh, perfect.
Okay, nice shot from Caitlin.
Here we go, it's happening.
Yeah, draw for the win for Ryland Kleider. Needs a piece of the forefoot. He's been really good all game. Trevor Johnson on this one here.
Can't hear yet for line ever.
No, they
Line's
like
good.
line. Now does it have the speed? They like the line. Does it have the speed? They're going hard for line. You have to get by this top yellow. Trevor Johnson leaning on it. He's by it. Now does it stop in time? Has to stop in time. What a shot from Ryland Kleider. We thought it was maybe the hardest option up from the booth, but that's why we're not down there.
A long day, a job well done, and the final work call. Where your place? Come as you are and fit in comfortably. Mr. Mice, eat locally, enjoy casual.
Stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on, every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance.
Pushing limits.
Seizing victory.
When victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
it's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
drop. 8-10. From the tie to Rock. Isabella Verano.
Good morning from the Mary Brown Center here in St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador, Canada. We are in the quarterfinal round for the women's draw at the KIOTI National. Third leg of the Grand Slam of curling season. Our feature matchup today, Team Yoshimura taking on Team Homan. Tyler George here with Brent Lang. Brent, obviously we know a lot about Team Homan. Seen a bit of Team Yoshimura this week. Team likes to mix it up, get a lot of rocks and play. Big win over Team Tirinzoni to get themselves into this quarterfinal round. But still an uphill battle for them, obviously playing against the #1 ranked team in the world.
Yeah, and hopefully you can hear us over the raucous crowd here in St. John's. It's been fantastic all week. But yeah, you know, when you line up against Team Homan, especially right now, when they're pretty much the talk of the town, not St. John's town, the town being the curling world. I don't know how many games they've lost this year, but it's not enough. I think it's only like 2 or 3 or something crazy. But yeah, it's they're just rolling. Things are going their way, but they're just making a ton of shots. But like you said, Yoshimura is coming in on a bit of a roll. You know, sometimes going through the tiebreakers, it's extra work, but it's extra momentum. It's extra time on the ice. They've already been on the ice this morning. So got their work cut out for them, but you don't get to the playoffs and the Grand Slams by accident. You got to play well, and looks like they've got Paul Webster on the bench this morning. They're looking for a coach currently. I guess they're doing tryouts. If I'm
Would they boot your wife already?
She's got other commitments. She's got so many jobs, it's ridiculous. But yeah, I don't know what's going on there, but Team Jacobs might be nervous. And then a famous guy in the pink and blue and white beside Webby coaching. That looks like Nicholas Adine coaching Team Yoshimura. He's been on the bench this year, so not a bad coach to have on the bench if you need a little feedback on a call or some help with that. So
unfortunately for Nicholas, he's very available the rest of the weekend. Rough go for his squad.
No conflicts for him this weekend. I covered 2 of his games, and Nick said it in the booth when he came up, and he was super entertaining and informative when he did the commentary, and he just said, we're just not playing our best. And sometimes you can't even put a finger on why. Usually it's something very small technically, or wrong shot, wrong miss at the wrong time. And they had a little bit of that. And man, they didn't put up much of a fight against Mount yesterday with their lives on the line, and not a team you can make any mistakes against.
We'll take a look at the lineups here for this feature matchup here in the quarterfinal round. First for Team Homan. At skip, Rachel Homan. Third, Tracy Fleury. Second, Emma Miskew. Lead, Sarah Wilkes. And for Team Yoshimura, skip, Sayaka Yoshimura. Third, Yuna Kotani. Second, Mina Kobayashi. And lead, Anna Omiya. So Brent, Rachel really hasn't been tested a whole lot as of this week so far, or this season, really, with, I believe you said 2 losses on the season. They've only played 5 events.
That sounds accurate.
Well, it's either 1 or 2. We know they haven't lost more than that.
Yeah.
But they've only played 5 events to this point, 2 slams, obviously 1 championship, 1 runner-up. They took the title at the Canadian Open, 2nd at the Tour Challenge. But pacing their season out, we've seen a lot of teams playing really an insane schedule to start the season. We've seen as many as 12 events so far for some of these teams. Rachel knows exactly how many events they need to play. They know which ones are important. They're just getting themselves ready for the play-down season. But you believe that a team with that much experience really doesn't need the reps nearly as much as some of these teams that are trying to get points.
Yeah, and I think it's more the second part of your comment there. I think it's the points that most teams chase.
Yeah.
Chasing points is great. Playing a lot is great in some teams. You heard Matt Dunstone say earlier this week, we had a great first year together. Last year we played a little less, didn't play as well. So added a spiel, went and won it, and didn't have their best week this week. But it's really team specific. Some people want to play a ton, but and if you're not winning all the time, like if you're Team Homan and you're going to almost win every event, then you don't have to play as much. Points are not an issue for them. They're already in the trials. They've got everything lined up in terms of they're in the Scotties. They're not chasing points for anything. They're too good to worry about that. But lots of, the teams on the edges of the slams, you got to think about it for sure. And maybe the recipe for success for Team Homan is more training camps. I know that's been a big thing that David Murdoch is not instilling, but insisting on with national team program teams is we want you to work with our national team coaches a minimum of, I think it's 4 or 5 times for the men's and ladies. I know in the mixed doubles, we've had 2 or 3 with Scott Pfeiffer, and that's not something we've done in the past. So a bit of a focus on the Canadian program to maybe play a little less, practice a little more. Easier said than done, though, as all the internationals, as Fry was talking last night, they start curling in July, and you start in mid-September, and you're 2 months behind. And the slams this is what it's all about. If you're serious about playing at the top level, this is where you want to be, and it's hard to get into these, harder and harder every year, actually. So interesting. And Rachel did say in a quick conversation I had with her the other day that they haven't played their best, and they're still undefeated, so that's scary. But saying that they're finding the paths on the ice a little bit trickier than normal. So it could be, it probably is true. Could be a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy. You miss a draw here or there, but they did play a couple of night games early, and the night games are always going to be the toughest with this big a crowd.
So the rest of the games here for this quarterfinal round over on Sheet A, Fujisawa taking on Anderson. Sheet B, Hasselborg, and the sponsor exemption. No, I guess it's not an exemption. They won the Tier 2 Tour Challenge to get an invite to the Slam for Team Black. And over on Sheet D, Team Ha taking on Team Kim. So great to see the team that wins their way in, Brent, in the quarterfinal round.
Pretty awesome, right? And from Eastern Canada, won the Tier 2, and this is a team that doesn't travel a ton, but plays a reasonable amount. Nova Scotia way was at the Scotties last year. It was not last year, 2 years ago for sure, and made a big run. Actually knocked out Team Homan that year in a tight match, and Christina herself that week was, anytime she needed to draw to a specific inch, she was making it. The sweepers were putting it there, and so yeah, a big win for them. They were super excited to go, after they won their second game, to go 2-2 and give themselves a chance, and then coming through the tiebreakers. That's a big deal. They're ranked in the 30s, I think is what you said, and so this is a big week for them. But now it's easy to be satisfied. Not necessarily used to being in here. If you told them you were going to qualify and lose the quarterfinals when they came in this week, they would have said,
probably taking that.
Sign me up. And now that they're here, as the coach, I'm not sure who their coach is, but I hope the conversation is, okay, ladies, now we've got an even better opportunity. All of that's great. We can reflect on that later, but right now we've got a chance to make a run in the playoffs at a Grand Slam. That's even more fun than qualifying. So we'll see how they perform today. I think there could be some satisfaction, but that's a total guess on my part.
So the Big Boss Sportsnet staggering the games to start things off, if you're wondering why we're not going as of yet. So Sheet A, Sheet D, both underway, B and C. We're waiting to stagger the ends.
So for the playoffs, it does go by record. That's how we get the seeding. And if you're tied, like if there's 2-2, it goes by a shootout to get the seedings, to get the matchups. If you are clear, if your record is a game or 2 games better than the team you play, you do get the hammer in the playoffs, which is, it was always nice to know, especially in the quarters. I found, I don't know about you, Tyler, over the years, but sometimes the quarterfinal feels like the hardest game to win. Not that it actually is, but in lots of teams, you have that quarterfinal, especially teams breaking through. It takes a while to win that quarterfinal. But you win the quarter, you get on a bit of a roll, and then the semis usually now not even a harder game because every game's so hard now.
Right.
And you have that momentum, that confidence. So does the other team you're playing in the semi. But I don't know, could have been my own mental block. Who knows? But for a while there, it felt like teams can get to a place where they just qualify and lose that quarterfinal.
And some of those teams get to a place called George Street too, which can affect the quarterfinal matchup. But
well, yeah,
I don't think any of these teams.
Is real.
Yeah, I don't think any of these teams have that issue.
Well, I wasn't there, so you'd have to tell me if they were.
I was scouting
scouting
for broadcasting purposes
right.
to see which teams
research
were out and about, which might be lagging a little bit today. Didn't spot any of these 8. Men's side, I can't say the same. But 4 p.m. start, so should be enough time to be ready to play. We're just about ready to get underway now. For Team Yoshimura, play 11 events so far this season. Qualified 6 times. Runner-up in the Tour Challenge Tier 2. Advix Cup Wakanai Midori, runner-up. Did not qualify at the Canadian Open Slam. But a busy season. Again, Brent, 11 events by the end of November. And that's not the most on tour this season.
That's a lot. But like I mentioned, I mean, especially in Japan, their tour season starts in late July. So if you play 1 in July and maybe 2 in August, then 11 doesn't seem so crazy because most teams will play 8 from September till about now. Homan obviously playing less. Gushu typically plays less. He put in another event this year, I think. I think part of that is maybe even he realizes he might not win the Brier every year. Maybe this is the year he doesn't win it, but next year there's rumors the Brier's coming to St. John's.
That is the rumor.
So
Arena.
If you've been around or even seen it on TV or on the stream this week, everybody wants to be here, but if you're Team Gushu, man, it must be tough to keep the ego in check this week. Although the 2 losses is helping, 2 and 2, that's helping knock down a rung, but man, do they love that team here, and it's so cool to see.
Center guard to start things off here for Anna Omiya. Right on the Coyote logo. Yoshimura ranked 18th in the world, number 15 year to date. Even more staggering, Brent, on the Team Homan side of things, obviously number 1 ranked in the world, but number 1 year to date playing 5 events.
Yeah, that's not fair.
That's near impossible.
Yeah, they're really looking for, and Gushu used to talk about, maybe we should just do like an average so that the teams who just play 1 million events don't get a huge advantage. And
sure. Wouldn't make any difference for Rachel.
No, it would be helpful, actually. She'd be up by more. But at the same time, and I get it, you don't want to force, especially, Brad's not getting younger. He's had some injury issues, and we don't want to burn him out. He's a big part of the game. But you also want to support the tour, and these teams that play every weekend, they keep those bonspiels going, and we need those bonspiels.
Sure.
We start losing those, and there's nowhere to create that next level, that next generation. So Rachel going straight to the come around. Sarah Wilkes, I said it yesterday, I'll say it again, we did Rachel's game, and they did struggle a little bit with Rana. Not that they struggled, because Team Rana played extremely well, and that was a hell of a game, and Team Rana just couldn't come up with the big shot when they needed in the 8th end, and gave up 1 million where they're up 1, and I mean, whether you give up 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's irrelevant, but it was a good game, well played by both teams. So we'll see if Yoshimura can, if I'm Nicholas, and I know he's thought about everything, I don't know that this is what he would have said, but let's weather the storm here early. Let's, come out, make sure we come out ready to play, and see if we can't keep this game close for the first couple ends and shorten the game a little bit, because over 8 ends, Rachel just beats everybody. So maybe you can get it down to 4-end game, tied. Maybe you get that 1 miss or 2 misses you're going to get out of this team and out of Rachel, and it's more impactful on the outcome of the game.
You have to believe that Yoshimura is comfortable with rocks in play, too, as they probably do want to shorten the game, as you said, but went to a center guard to start things off, where we've seen probably the majority of games starting with a rock in the house, and especially in the playoff round and the early draw, trying to get used to the ice and just trading hits in the first end. They are trading now, but again, that center guard to start things off says they're not afraid to put some rocks and play with Rachel.
Yeah, and the 5-rock rule changes that too. I don't know enough about Rachel, and I know she doesn't have a straight-up playbook, I don't think, which I think is an advantage at times. I don't know if she would have hit it and rolled and then gone with the delayed corner, but Nick would maybe be talking to Team Yoshimura saying, you know, if we go in, she might hit it and roll to the side, and if she does that and then you hit and stay and they throw a corner, it's not a very good situation. So, I don't know. All we can do is guess. That's all we do up here is make stuff up and guess, right?
Yeah. Well, that's the good thing is they don't hang points when we're wrong. We just look silly, that's all.
I'm getting used to that, and I'm fine with it.
Nice, Sam. You made it really good. 9-1. Good weight. We just left it a little early.
Yeah, it's easy to lose track of that center guard because it's right in the middle of the Coyote. Coyote National. It's like the Tim Hortons cups at the Briars. This Coyote logo, there's a red leaf that looks a lot like a red stone, so you might not see that stone, and easy to trip on.
Mina Kobayashi with the hit and stick. Moving that rock a little closer to the tee line. Both teams going to be able to bank some time trading these hits out. That center guard is there. If either team plays the hit and roll to the center. Rachel will not be doing that purposefully to this point. They don't want to be behind the tee line with the center guard up.
Hard. Control. Whoa.
So that's why Rachel called that off, to make sure they roll all the way opposite side, not behind the center.
So no mistakes out of either team yet. I don't think Rachel's going to switch to drawing around that, especially because it's a red stone. So going to be a chance here for Team Yoshimura to make that one hit and roll later in the end, or maybe right now.
Yuna Kotani rolls opposite side of center. Small piece buried, probably 3/4 open.
And tonight, of course, Tyler, is the biggest event of the week. I think some teams prepare more for tonight, and I'm not talking about the semifinals.
We've heard some rumblings.
The Grand Slam of karaoke is turning into a professional performance.
Yeah, certain competitors in the event are making a production out of this performance.
Well, Team Rana took it to another level with their performance of ABBA. They had costumes and the pink boas and the dance moves, and as Johnny Mo said yesterday, Isabella can sing.
Yeah,
that
she's kind of become the sweetheart of the Grand Slam curling tour, carrying the belt around, kissing it on the big screen. I was really disappointed when she came up to the booth for broadcasting with us, and when she came into Opry Curl last night, she didn't bring the belt.
Oh.
How do you not come in the day before as the champ and lay down the law, lay that thing out on the floor?
I think she's hearing rumors about, Mattia Giovanella's not happy. He lost his belt, and I think he might have something up his sleeve. He's maybe even called in other teams. He's got an entourage, I'm hearing. I haven't seen
I'm
anything,
excited for this tonight.
I hope I can stay up late enough to watch it.
Are they playing 4N games in the 8 p.m. draw?
They should.
Tonight?
Just so we can get to the
for the semifinals?
faster.
Yeah. We don't want to get in the way of the main event, yeah.
But we're going to head to Blanktown here, I think. A little hit and roll out, a little mistake, and Rachel's more than happy to blank the first thing. Could have played a come around there. A little 3 rocks left to 2, and you make it good, but I think still learning the ice, and I think that's a much more comfortable shot.
Yeah, I think we'll see Rachel a little more aggressive in the second end after getting their feet underneath them here in the quarters.
First one just had a little extra rotation, so I got off at the end because I saw it was spring harder. Yeah, good more than...
Nice for Sayaka Yoshimura here. An open draw to the button in the first end. They did have practice, so she's thrown this, but it's always nice to get that in the first end. And
I forgot that we called time.
Skip the draw as well, wins a lot of games. You can save your team. Save your team from a lot of trouble if you can make a good draw at the right time. So
I think I got 11-2. Does that make sense? Probably, yeah.
Yoshimura does get the free look. If you're the sweepers, Brent, small things matter. You really want to put this on the lid if you can, just to show your skip. You've got draw weight. We're going to have that later in the game. you're not throwing it to the paint. You're trying to draw the button.
Yeah, I would totally agree. And this one's coming up a little lighter than they thought. Curling more.
It's a big button, but
yeah,
just top 8.
You said white. The button's white. That fits white. Details. Potato, potato, I guess.
Normal.
So have you had any, you've been screeched in before?
Yeah, quite a while ago, so didn't have to partake in that this week.
What's the breakfast thing? Like, it's like a pancake. Is it a Teuton? Have you had any of those yet?
Sounds right. I have not.
I might be saying it right. It might be wrong. It might be a Tauton. I have no idea, but it looks like a thick pancake.
Yeah, no experience with that one.
My wife, Jennifer, was asking this morning. She's like, do they have, she called it, I think, a Teuton, so it's probably right.
Good.
Downstairs, and I looked up on the menu, and they didn't, but I don't know that I've had those. You have any fish cakes? So many great places to eat. You had any great meals this week, Ty?
Had some good cod tacos at the hotel.
Yeah, the hotel food's actually quite good.
Yeah. Haven't really gotten out and about a lot with the schedule. You're just kind of bopping back and forth, either resting in the room or at the hotel bar.
Of course, some Mary Brown's chicken.
Yep,
at the
I've
Mary Brown
had
Center.
quite a few of those. That buffalo chicken sandwich from Mary Brown's is
it's legit, hey?
Very good.
An inch, a little bit.
Perfect snack, but the line is usually about 50 people long.
I don't think I can go flash.
How about the Tim Hortons line in between games? I swear to God, it is a cocaine or a crack center. I mean, I can say that I don't drink coffee, so I don't know what that's like. But yeah, every time in between games, there are 40 people waiting in line to get a coffee. Hit and roll, try and change the spot a little bit. And if you're hoping for Rachel to miss a blank,
don't say it.
You might want to hope for something else.
Very unlikely is what we've set up here in the booth throughout the week. But Homan will be playing the out-turn peel.
See if she can break the commentator curse. Sometimes it's real.
Should come up
I actually don't think I have any impact on the game legitimately, but it's nice to think that sometimes I do.
Final shot, first end, Rachel Homan playing for the blank.
No! Whoa. You're good. Good.
Rachel not having her sweepers waste any reps whatsoever. So that will be a blank in the first. Homan carries hammer to the second end, 0-0 in our feature matchup.
When it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes, unbelievably comfortable.
And the brooms, lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared. I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms? Light as a feather.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
It's a Gold Line.
And is the choice of champions.
Both teams just trying to get their feet under them in the quarterfinal round here, trading hits out. Blank the first end for Homan. 0-0 with Team Yoshimura. Brent, we commented before the game, Yoshimura getting in on the strength of a win over Team Tirinzoni, which anybody taking one off of Silvana this season obviously is a big win, but kind of took it to her too. They were up 5-0 after 2 ends, so obviously not afraid to mix things up, going to the center guard once again.
Yeah, and to look out here in the final 8 and not see Team Tirinzoni, and that's for the second time this year at the Slams.
Right.
That's surprising, but it's a testament to the depth of these fields now and how much harder it's getting to qualify. And there are not that there are ever easy games, but every game is a grind. So it's great to see. I mean, it's good for the sport. It's getting more and more reasonable to me to think that one game a day is plenty because it takes everything you got. And I used to, I mean, especially later in my career, but there's something about knowing that there's only one game. You don't have to save anything. You know, you can leave it all out there. Then you get, some rest, and it takes everything you got to win at this level. I don't care, mentally as a skip, physically as a brusher, mentally as all 4 players. It's a grind.
Tirinzoni losing in the tiebreaker round this morning to Team Ha.
The draw?
Slapped around a little bit, 9-2, the final in that game. Tirinzoni coming off of winning the European Championships, certainly weren't slumping by any means coming in. But you never know how that fatigue can affect different teams, too. Sometimes with that overseas travel, Brent, it just affects different people different ways. I can tell you, going over to Finland for myself for doing broadcast commentary, I didn't get a good night's sleep for 5 days, and then coming back over here took me 1. So it's kind of
You never
roulette.
got on the time. That's genius.
Luck of the draw.
So good come around there, and we see this all the time now. Ignore the middle, go straight around the corner, have one with the hammer in there buried that they can't really chase. Needs to be made here. Can't wreck on this guard though. This will roll for another center if they wreck potentially, and that would be. It is going to wreck. Might roll in, but it's going to kind of hook.
It doesn't end up in a bad spot. They have about half of that stone biting the 8-foot. But to your point, Brett, Team Homan doesn't have any issue ignoring that center, trying to draw around the corner. Their ability to run with Miskew and Fleury at 2 and 3 to get themselves, I wouldn't even say out of trouble, but just to clear the center. You know, when you're making those types of shots, then you're setting up 2s and 3s because you've already gone under the corner guard. So often we see teams just not use the corner at all.
I think the 5-rock rule has really changed that. I think in a lot of ways when it was the 4-rock rule, the corner guard was, you know, a team would throw one in the top 4-foot, and you threw the corner guard to try and force them to throw a center guard, so you knew you were going to have action, and then you might never go around the corner in the older days, but then you freeze in the middle, and that's kind of where deuces were made, and that's changing. 5-rock rule, it's still evolving. I don't think everybody has it totally figured out how to defend without the hammer. Even how to make deuces, how to make 3s, you know, the stacked corner versus a corner on either side. It's been around a long time, but I think it's still evolving.
Nice in-turn come around draw there. Team Yoshimura to the back of the 4-foot, sitting 2.
Remember Miskew? She hit the stage in Charlottetown with Nick Sulsky, and she got surprised. He dragged her up there, so she didn't get to choreograph anything. So I think she did a fantastic job she didn't get to speak to her producer, nothing like these other professionals.
What was the performance? What was the song?
I can't remember what the song was. It was like a classic, not a ballad or anything, like a classic karaoke song. Like it was a belted out.
I don't know if it's a Finnish.
But I don't remember. It was all
Stairway
over
to Heaven, probably.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So it went on forever.
Nick wanted to keep her up there for 7.5 minutes.
She air guitarred the entire riff.
Yeah, something Freddie Mercury. It was really easy to sing.
I think because they slept.
A great shot there from Emma, and Team Yoshimura, Yuna needing to roll this back behind the guard, are going to leave a double and roll wide. And now all of a sudden that yellow one she's not going to play the double.
Just rolling middle.
That works too, because that will open up the back one. If she rolls right behind her yellow, she'll probably get shot rock. Maybe. With hack weight probably, but probably not too concerned about that. Kind of setting up not just a 2 here, but maybe a 3. I think you hit and roll wide, make that double. He knows that it's not the worst. It's still not going to be leaving a double, but anyway, this is a good shot, good call. See if Emma can make it. Very similar to the shot that she just threw, so. And I don't know about you, Tyler, and I know they're fantastic top to bottom. Rachel's a hell of a shot maker. Tracy's as good as any third. But this front end seems to set this team up more often than really any other front end in the women's game, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, I'm sure Rachel would be the first to tell you as that one rolls to the open but opposite side, that so much of what she's able to do, calling the game, dictating the action, is because of that execution from the lead in the second. And the top teams that win consistently, they always have their opponents chasing after front end stones. They're not having to make big shots to catch up very often. They're fully capable of doing it, but you know, the Christopher Sundgrens, the Sarah Wilkses of the world, just makes the job so much easier on the back end players that you're playing open hits, draws, things like that to set up 2s and 3s and not having to make the hero shot all the time.
So as a lifelong back-end player, Tyler, are you calling the front-enders unsung heroes?
I definitely am.
Thought that's
I'll
what I
sing
heard.
their praises as much as I possibly can.
But not Matt Hamilton. He's not included in there, or is he?
Well, he's kind of front
Steiner
end.
for sure.
Yeah, I've sung Steiner's praises on the air many, many times.
He was quietly one of the best leads, and nobody talked about him for sure.
I would agree with that. Yeah,
his rocks just went where he wanted them.
He did all the little things when we played, and the guy that just shuts his mouth, does his job, reads the rocks.
Donnie Bartlett talked about him. Donnie Bartlett coached you guys for a little bit?
He coached after I retired, so
Okay.
he was with Team Schuster for
And he
one
talks
season.
about Steiner. I mean, Donnie's got a real soft spot for leads, obviously.
Yeah.
But he talked about John and said, he's world class. He's as good as any lead in terms of shot making. I mean, you can debate everything else. He's not 6'5", 240 pounds, but it's a skill. I mean, it's also almost a good thing when you do go about your business quietly, especially when you have a big personality like Matt. And Schusty's a big personality,
Yeah, the team was put together by design. The guys filled their roles as needed, and
you were just the glue, right? To hold the chaos together.
You just fill in the cracks where you can. You know how it is.
Apply pressure to the
That was your
wound
role as well, I'm pretty sure. Good weekend for the old squad here at 3-1.
Right?
Yeah.
American Thanksgiving, celebrating in style.
I believe that in Paradise back in 15, when we made the semis, you guys clipped us.
Yeah, we did.
Knocked us off.
I do remember that in the fog bowl.
Who made the old
Everything.
outturn triple in the third?
He was clicking his heels. He won us that final basically single-handedly against. That was when Gushu had figured out the brooms. It was frosty.
Yeah,
They had like 10 brooms
the
out
fog
there.
coming off the ice.
And we were standing there. We brought knives to a gunfight. But Kui got the last knife in, and we managed to win in an extra end. I think Kevin made like a double run back stick just to tie the game in 8.
He's pretty good.
Or to force the extra, not to tie it, to force, because we had hammer in the extra.
Our fault for leaving him the outturn triple.
Well, pretty good.
Not that he's not making me in.
Well, yeah. So a good chance here. Red is lying too, but if they could get to the nose here and then a little mistake from Sayaki on her first, like if she ever chased and rolled a little wide, Rachel might have a double slide 2 or 3.
Big, gotta go. Roll it big, then roll it big.
Doesn't sound like Rachel loves this one though. Rachel lets you know. You can tell by the tone in her voice. She's one of those.
It's
wears her
very
heart on her
disappointed.
sleeve. But she grew up, and she wouldn't call John her idol anymore, I'm sure. But growing up, she grew up in Ottawa. Her coach early on with her and Emma was Earl Morris, famous karaoke in his own right. And she grew up watching Johnny Moe as he was running through the junior ranks in Ottawa. And he wore his heart. He's an emotional guy, an emotional player. He doesn't play now, but back then he was real emotional.
So might be able to get both of these yellows moving with the roll too, Brent. You don't have to overthrow this. It's maybe a little more than edge to edge with the rock in the top of the forefoot and the center guard.
That second shot is pretty buried, but don't roll this kind of back 4 and leave the chase slip double to lie 3. The nose hit. I don't think Rachel can make the double. If she does, she's going to kill at least one, but a good chance. Just make this roll right to the button and really a good steal opportunity. We'll see if Sayaka can match the weight to the line. It looks like about a hack weight hit and roll. Right to the top of the button. Her first skip stone of the second end.
Big shot here for Yoshimura. She can get underneath. She'll be sitting 2. And that rock in the top of the 12-foot, serving as another center guard. This is hooking hard late.
This is trouble. Rachel doesn't know what to do with it.
Yeah, the jam.
No hole now, though, for that slip double.
The jam not good. That actually puts yellow in second count, too.
It does.
We just draw.
So now it's a hit to sit to.
Yeah.
This is the evolution of Rachel Homan. Like 5 years ago, Rachel
can get to there, and then there's a double, or they can draw.
I like the draw idea, I think.
She hasn't even talked about the the thin double. It's super, super
But then they have
thin.
more freeze too. And then if they come around, I have no shot.
She's going to play the draw here. You're right, though. She could hit to lie 2, but she's worried about leaving the double back.
For draw for hammer.
Yeah, and if she rolls in, she's behind the tee.
Okay.
You'd be daring Yoshimura to play the freeze.
I like
Maybe even a 14-9, eh?
I like chasing shot with the in-turn and trying to roll just behind third shot. And if it ever curled and you had kind of like control weight and it ticked the top one, you're going to make the double in lie 3. I like lots of options on my shots. That's why I don't throw last.
Give me a wide berth, please.
But there is room to just miss the double and roll out, so that wouldn't be good either. But put some pressure on the line call. But she's going to play the draw, and if she makes this top 4 buried, high probability of a 2-point score for Team Homan. But a tough draw here in the second end.
Homan's first, playing the in-turn come around draw. Trying to get to top 4.
Really top 4. Yep, go ahead if you need to. It's all you. Wait only. Half in the 4. Looks a little light. Curl if you can.
Next door, I guess
then.
2 doors over, Carrie Anderson has a nose double for 5.
Yeah, that's a mittful over there.
Maybe even just a nose hit for 5. Doesn't even need the double.
Nice. Good job.
Against Fujisawa, who stole one in the
Good
first.
judge, guys.
Good shot there from Rachel.
Right to the top of the lid.
Nice, Rach. Good. Yeah, he's just skating farther than we think.
You can hear the fans. They get behind all the Canadian teams, which is awesome. I think that's a 5.
That looks
Cinco
like the
de
old
Mayo.
Julie. 5 times for Carrie Anderson. 5-1 after 2 in that quarterfinal matchup. Broadcaster bump, come up in the booth, and you're going to win.
Is that what we're selling?
Well, we tried to do that for Chelsea Carey, too. Sorry, Chelsea, if you're watching after George Street bruised you up last night as well. But she got a 4 in the first, so coming off of the broadcast game, hot. Could not finish the game off, unfortunately.
4 in the first, but yeah, they went 0-4, so I don't know. I don't want to know what happened from there. So if this freeze is made, it'd be awfully tough for Rachel to get to. Might play the hit and roll off of third shot. There might be room for that, but a draw would be really difficult. Judging by how Sayaki's last one curled, she could throw back 8 and probably lie 2 here, or just bump it to lie 1 even.
Just playing to the freeze that needs to go to get by the rock at the top of the 12s.
I don't think so. All it does comes up short. So Rachel's going to have the nose if she wants it, or the wider draw, very similar to what she just threw.
Homan will need about half of the 4 foot for her second point.
Patiently skipped end here from Rachel. Took advantage of a slight miscue as Sayaka just overrolls on her first, and she's trying to cap off a skips deuce.
Final stone, second end. Rachel Homan made the in-turn draw right to the top of the button on her first shot. Needs to repeat that for the second point.
If I'm Sarah Wilkes, I'm going to sweep this early, at least for the first 5 or 10 feet, and just make sure the line doesn't take off early. I mean, Rachel does throw lots of handle, but I think it's heavy, though. It looked like she wanted to do what I said, but there are a couple things to run into. They really don't want to sweep this.
Carve to touch ours, carve to touch ours.
Doesn't feel right as a sweeper to just sweep when you're heavy, but
T-weight out of hand the whole way down. Rachel Homan gets her 2. She leads Yoshimura 2-0 after 2 ends.
I didn't get the first one. 14-9. Theirs was a 15-1. On both?
14-8 Yeah, threw a little less though, so it's definitely a little faster out there. Like
I felt like I threw exactly the same.
Same, but I didn't like.
There's a place where the world's best curling not only lives, it rocks. Download the new Grand Slam of Curling app and live stream all the action. Get exclusive content, stats, merch, and more. Let's rock.
Emma's 3 is curling.
Do you want me to just take it?
Very clinical 2 for Rachel Homan in the second end. Ends up being a skips deuce, scoring 2 with the final 2 stones, leading 2-0 after 2 ends of play here at the Coyote National. St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador, Canada. Here at the Mary Brown Center, Tyler George with 3-time world champion, 16-time Grand Slam champion, Brent Lang. Brent, Rachel's at 15. She's in the quarters. You got the High Holy Hex going on her?
I think she's 16.
Is she 16 now?
16.
Oh, yeah, I suppose that was the 16th, so.
Yeah, no, I could do whatever I want. She's going to get to 20, so.
I don't know if there's some kind of George Street screech-in hex you can use. It has to do with a fish, but I don't think it's going to hurt Rachel.
So. She already kissed the cod. I was there to witness that. Her whole team got screeched in, along with Team Schuster and Team Craig, and then they all went out and won their next game. Coincidence? Probably.
Can't argue with results,
right?
I think it's a coincidence.
It's a little bit high from Anna here. That's not super usable. Anything behind that will be pretty chaseable. So
Rachel had the broom down for the come around draw before that rock crossed the hog line, I think.
Ooh, Team Black with a. I didn't see what happened on her last, but a big miss from Christina, obviously, because they gave up a steal of 2 and are down 3-0. Team Hasselberg, not a team that you want to be able to just start hitting against you.
Yeah, we mentioned earlier in the tournament too, Brent, Team Hasselborg.
Cross center, go, hard.
It's kind of family focused for a little while, not playing as many events, and now they're back in gear. If you're looking for a good team to put a few bucks on for the World Championships or the Olympics coming up, probably get some pretty good odds on Anna, the 2018 Olympic gold medalists, as they really have kind of just been laying in the weeds for a bit, but that team is full bore, guns a-blazing now.
Yeah, they've traveled with the new additions to the families. I think they call themselves self-proclaimed, so I don't think I'm going to get in trouble for calling them the traveling family circus. I think that's how they, you know.
Yeah, they had a bunch of little ones in Lohja, Finland at the Europeans with the Swedish gear. It's fun to watch the little troop running around the concourse.
A good chase there. It looked like Sarah got hers buried, but no trouble there for Anna to dig that one out. And 2 guards and line 1 in the forefoot. If Emma doesn't make this roll perfectly, chance for Team Yoshimura to get a deuce set up early, but it sounds like she made it perfect.
That'll do. Perfect roll there from Miskew.
That 2 is. She was little 2. Okay, good. I don't think we get curl with the 2.
So briefly considered chasing on the intern side, and she could. You don't have to kill it. You could just throw a draw through there and bump it back. I think a lot of times you play this hit and roll, you probably roll out because you don't want to nose it.
It seems as though this game plan, Brent, might be by design from Coach Edine, that they are throwing the center guard up in certain spots. They are throwing the corner up, but they're not putting a lot of rocks in play. Seems like they're just trying to either force or steal without hammer with 4 rocks at max in play, and then with hammer now, still chasing and hitting on second's first stone or lead second stone there.
That's a really good roll by Mina, though. They rolls to a double corner. There's no hole through the wide side, so Rachel can't really, I guess if she could try the double peel, but forcing her to guard. And I think back to the conversation in the first end, without the hammer throwing a guard, it's automatically we think, oh, aggressive. And it's, I think in some ways that's actually defensive. Because you don't want to end up with a corner guard and no center guard. And if you throw it in the rings and they hit it, that's That's up to the team with the hammer. And
could be a delayed corner then too, rolling away. Now you have no center guard.
Yeah,
and they have a corner.
It's really up to the team with hammer to dictate whether or not it's going to be super aggressive. I mean, the team without hammer can throw double centers, but that's super risky. And we're talking about lots of rule changes, including no blank ends, and everybody says, you know, well, that's just going to make the team without hammer play defensive, and I don't think they can do that. I don't think that's their choice, because if I have the hammer and you want to play defensive, and you can do whatever you want in the middle, I get 2 free corner guards, and if I throw them both, there's going to be a chance for offense. Doesn't really matter what you do. We make all 8 shots, and some of them might be tough, but if we make 8, we're going to get 2 almost all the time. And there's not a goddamn thing you can do about it, Tyler.
Yeah, that's kind of Rachel's MO. This is what we're going to do,
good.
and you can't do much about
This looks real good. Not quite far enough, probably chaseable, but gets the play behind the tee line away from the center and has double corners and a high center. That was a mistake from Emma, leaving that not just open, but it was open because she didn't have the right speed. Wasn't deep enough in the free guard zone. Need everything on that KIOTI logo. It's like they put it there on purpose, so we say it like 25 times a game.
They're the sponsor, the title sponsor for this event, Brent. I don't know if you knew that.
I've heard. Is that why I keep saying the KIOTI National?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Thank you to KIOTI for
I thought we were
sponsoring
just
the event.
plugging Team Dunstone's title sponsor for them as good guys, and this looks maybe Silent Hit-ish. Oh, get out! No,
not enough, and that's going to be buried behind those corners now as well. So maybe 3 coming into play here for Yoshimura. Over on sheet A, Carrie Anderson with a
that's
good
not a
morning.
beer cracking.
Oh, that is a Celsius.
Yeah, that's an energy drink.
I can vouch for that. That is an energy drink.
I just cracked it, so it's not mixed with anything.
We wouldn't apologize for it anyways.
No, I'm a grown man.
Needs the curl to get off of the center guard still. Now starting to hook.
So they're not. I don't know if you probably weren't listening because it's hard to listen after doing 2 or 3 games a day. But I had a great conversation with Nicholas the other day.
Yeah, I didn't listen at all. I'll tell you right now.
No, I didn't expect you would. And the reason I bring it up is because it looked like that needed to curl, but they wouldn't carve it. And Nick doesn't believe in carving. I'd say he's the only skip probably in the whole event, other than maybe Sayaka, who happens to have Nick as their coach. Yeah, they don't carve, which is interesting, until they see specific ice conditions.
Right.
Softer or frostier, and then, there's no doubt, but it's interesting. But that ended up in a really good spot, and this is trouble for Team Homan. Big pressure draw for Tracy, who made every one of these that she was asked to make yesterday in the game against Rana. Team Rana came off the ice yesterday. They had to be thinking, like, man, what do we got to do to beat this team? Because we played really well. They didn't have a good last end. But this looks like they're sweeping it past.
Curl, just carve. Carve.
Nobody knows what to do back there. I'll take it, you take it, I'll take it, I got it.
Yeah, pretty good piece of that still showing, too.
They can hit and roll away from there. Back 8, back 12.
Yeah, this is a dangerous situation for Homan because the roll away to back 8s will not leave a double. It'll be shot rock.
Hey, Sauce. Hey.
And they're going to have to decide.
I carved a little bit earlier.
If they want to take on potential. She could roll right to the back 12 with like a just through and hit a quarter stone, kill it, and roll to the back 12. And then that same freeze would be available, but it's going to be a test of patience here for Rachel. First and foremost, though, Yuna's got to find a way to make this shot.
It should be pretty good. Starting to cut now. Definitely want to roll this away. That's really good.
That is fantastic. So,
a good touch there.
You hear Rachel? What do you want to do? This isn't good. I know that, but what do you want to do?
That one out. It looks hard. It's not moving crazy.
I think you're hitting the back one.
No, we won't.
Hit the back one. They hit, maybe make a hit and roll. I think you're giving up 3 here most times. Maybe 2 nose hits might leave you a double. I don't like playing anything aggressive here if you're Rachel. I know you don't want to give up 3, but you are up 2.
Yeah, I think you just play for nose, Brent, and then you're hoping to get a nose back. And if you don't, then you're playing the roll under the center. If you do, you're playing the double.
Yeah, and if it doesn't go well, you know it's 3, and you're down 1 with the hammer
You don't
playing
like
4.
this, Try to roll buried and not count that one.
Well, we
You don't
can't
think
roll
so?
up here. We'd be down here.
Yeah, that's
like
hard
just
to
barely.
do.
Yeah.
And if anything you roll here, you're taking
Trying to
away
go
any
down
chance at a double. I mean, you could roll under, and then there might be a chance at double, but I like the nose, Tyler. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Nose hit. Sayaka's going to try and
Come
probably...
and freeze to it.
Freeze is super precise. Back 8. No steal opportunity, really. I don't know that that's worth it.
Hit and flop under. Try and get dead buried.
Well, they are playing the roll. Okay. Trying to get underneath. So I'm sure she's fine with nose, but wants to challenge a little bit.
To me, the problem with that, if you make a great roll and then Sayaka can throw the out-turn chase and roll towards us,
right? Yeah,
away from everything.
Now you're
never
looped into 3 no matter what.
Yeah, and even if you make a great roll, she's going to be able to make that. That guard's too high.
Whoa! Clean! Whoa!
Yeah! Clean!
Sounds like a make.
Whoa, curl! Good shot.
Really good. Made the roll, but didn't overroll, so that's a great shot. She thinks she's got room to roll. She knows she'd love to roll away from everything.
Yeah, they don't have much, but a ton of distance between the guard and the rock in the back of the 8s. They're actually playing the out-turn.
Playing the out-turn. I don't like this. This
Yeah,
looks terrible from the other end. Like
You're changing the line, too. I mean, play the one that you know.
Yeah, an in-turn hit, you just saw it a couple of times. Hit and roll anywhere towards the wings, and there's not going to be a double. Even if he knows it, I don't know that there's going to be a double, and I don't think Rachel's taking on the freeze. And I'm okay with it if she does. It's a team that...
Oh, yeah.
You're not going to
want her playing the freeze.
Yeah, you're not going to beat them all the time, that's for sure. Probably less than half the time, for sure. Probably less than a quarter of the time, let's be honest. So if she's playing a freeze against potentially giving you 4, that's how you're going to beat a team like this. This is makeable.
It's not a matter of if it's there. It's a matter of do you need to do it, and don't really think it's necessary to play this shot.
Big shot. It just doesn't get you much that the other turn doesn't get you, in my opinion. But
so first shot for Sayaka Yoshimura. Out turn, hit and roll away. If made, almost guarantees a 3. This is cutting hard. Needs to get by the guard. Yeah, just no need to play that turn and risk exactly what they had.
It.
Oh, big spin at the end. So this is going to be some very important rock placement for Rachel Homan now.
I don't mind taking there.
Needs to be second shot. Can't be like wide open though, especially on the just past the T line, right on that GSOC logo over there. We'll leave it double for might jam, but probably not. I don't think she can get fully buried because of where that red one is behind the guard. So
yeah, she's got about a 3-foot area that she can throw this to that she should get the force.
Probably the best if you said, hey, Rach, you can walk this down and put it wherever you want. You'd probably just put it like right beside the top red one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Quarter buried and there's
beside
no double.
It, any piece underneath, and you're out counting that stone above the tee, you're good.
Not a comfortable shot, though.
Too much. You have really close. Top 8. Room. Whoa.
So Homan playing the out turn draw, needs to get a piece of the 8-foot to sit 2.
Curl. Carve, Sarah.
I think they like the speed. She doesn't want to carve because she doesn't want to kill the speed.
Yeah, this is still carrying deep.
This needs to stop.
It should be okay. I think the thin double would still jam.
I don't think it would stick, though. I think she's got more than enough. Like, she can see way too much to make this double. What are the chances it dead sticks on that one?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it catches the backside or side of that red, so it could be for 3 still.
Yeah, I don't think there's a shot for 4.
I think if you're Yoshimura, you play it because of your opposition too.
For sure, this is a good chance. It's a makeable shot. It's tough.
Well, even if it dead stuck, Brent, it's still 2.
Yeah, if your shooter stays, right? And I think the dead stick at your shooter is always staying. I think sometimes you're going to make this, lose your shooter, but it might even miss that red when you get 3 that way. So hit it thin. You're going to want to feel like you flash this most of the way, which isn't very comfortable because 2 steal is a real option here if you're really trying to make this, because you got to hit, looks like a thin quarter. A quarter makes the double and probably misses that red and get 3, your shooter spins out. If you had to make it for 4, you're going to play this with probably just normal. Maybe control even.
It looks like broom for normal. We're going to make a guess here.
Well, I'm excited. I mean,
yeah,
I don't get paid more or less either way, so it's not super important to me.
Wait, you're getting paid?
Oh, no, I mean like from the curling.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I get 0 either way.
Yeah. Ooh. 4 spot there for Kim.
Ooh, he's right. Here we go, Ty.
Final shot. Double attempt for Sayaka Yoshimura. Thin to win.
I don't want to hear Wolf on Rachel.
This is very close. Oh, look at that. 4-3. I think it may have been there for 4, too. It's caught it awfully thin. But wonderful shot from Yoshimura to get 3. They now lead Rachel Homan 3-2 after 3 ends.
Oh, nice up. Nice up. Nice.
I've stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on, every millimeter counts. It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance,
Pushing limits. Seizing victory.
When victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
It's a gold line. It's a gold line. It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
So Yoshimura with a 3 on Rachel Homan. Quarter rock double on her last shot. Now leads 3-2. Tyler George here with Brent Lang. And Brent, we mentioned before the shot, you know, Rachel had probably 3 feet she could throw that stone to and not be in any trouble with the double. But just got a little bit deep on that GSOC logo that you talked about right before she threw it, and fantastic shot from Yoshimura.
Yeah, very impressive. You know, risked flashing it, had to hit that awfully thin, but and I think they were carving. They were calling carve because I think their thought is that when you carve it, it curls and slows down because it didn't have to be buried. There was never going to be a cross face double. It was always going to be shooter thin. So it just needed to be anywhere T-line or higher, and there wasn't going to be a shot. But kudos to Sayaka and Team Yoshimura for saying, hey, this is a good chance. It's super hard. We might be down 4-0 after this, but we might be up 3-2, and that's worth the risk. Risk reward. 5-point swing there. And we'll see how Team Homan reacts. They're not really used to chasing. They're only down 1. It feels worse than that, I promise you right now, because you get a deuce in the second, play good first 2 ends, and then give up an unnecessary 3. And it was really that, was it Emma's chase that chipped it behind the guard? That was a big change in that end.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to point fingers.
No, that's just a fact. Yeah. I mean, that's what turned the end around. It chipped it to dead buried under the corner and set that end up. But even at that, Rachel would be the first to tell you, I got to hit 3-foot area. She expects to make that.
Yeah, it's uncomfortable, but you do. And especially with the 2 draws, she made the end before, right to the top 4-foot and then side button for 2. And so she's feeling good about draw late. But they just need to think, well, last time we had a hammer, we set up a pretty good deuce, and let's just do that again. Take a 1-point lead into the break. Even if they get 1 here, you don't need to be on tilt just yet. Team Anderson piling on, adding another steal, so up 6-1.
And it's sitting 3 again now, too. Just piling pressure on Team Fujisawa over there.
Like Johnny Moe said, it doesn't really seem to matter who they have playing with them. Val and Carey this year are hot at the slams for sure. And Brittany Tran is a good player in her own right. Don't take that the wrong way. And Kristen Kartwacki is, I'm super impressed with how good of a lead she's become.
She's been fantastic for them. I saw Carrie showed us when she was in the booth here too. They have new Team Anderson gear. It's a hoodie that says "I'm Team Anderson's next alternate," with as much rotation as they've done.
You gotta have some fun with it.
Yeah.
You know, obviously a bunch of unfortunate things, and the Brienne Harris thing, you know, decision has still not been made public. They were supposed to hear something in October, but I don't have any news to share. Anything I've heard is just rumors. I know that it's not, they don't know yet. And then poor Shannon, some kind of knee injury. I don't know what happened, but it's more serious than I'd originally thought, because she's been out for now.
Yeah, that
maybe
one,
2 months.
It sounded like it wasn't that serious a thing, just needed some rehab, but she's still on the mend. We wish both of them well. Hope to see them out here again soon. But impressive what Carrie's been able to do, and she talked about the hills and valleys that you have with rotating as much as they do and not having that continuity, players knowing their roles on the team and still managing to maintain. And
they won the slam. I mean, brought in Super D. Dawn McEwen's not bad at curling.
Yeah, she's
got
okay.
a decent resume. If you're into like best ever kind of lead resumes.
Yeah, Dawn came in, played second. So she's making runs and doubles all over the place, too, just in case she didn't think she could do that.
She's told me after that event, she says, actually, I think I was better at hitting than drawing.
Yoshimura sitting 2 and guarding now, kind of dictating the action last end and a half, Brent. And not something we're used to seeing with Rachel at any point, let alone in a slam. But this team is controlling the game right now. I'm not giving Coach Adine any credit whatsoever, but it does seem like there's a method here, a game plan, and they've stuck to it.
Yeah, a bit of a mistake there. Emma doesn't make any contact on the runner,
and those are the shots that when you play that style, too, where you're ignoring the center and saying, we're going to the corner, but we're going to make the run, that's the shot you have to make in order to not be chasing.
Even in the miss has to be on the nose. Like
right.
You can't just, like she did save the corner, which is helpful, but even if you jam it in there, at least then it's your rock and you can play that run back again. And Emma's as good as anybody, especially in the women's game at this shot.
Oh, just feathers it over again.
Unlucky there. Rachel thought that needed to curl, but actually needed to stay straight. So you're right. You can feel a definite momentum swing here towards the team from Sapporo, Japan, as Robbie Doherty said. So Sapporo, I mean, famous over here at least for their beer, right?
That's the only thing I know about that town. We did practice there prior to the 2018 games, if I remember right, too.
Is that where you guys staged?
Yeah.
Oh, so that's the lucky town.
That's the town.
Hate that place too. Jen had a world championship there, and I don't know what year. I mean, Jen's had world championships almost everywhere, but
just a gorgeous club too.
Is it nice?
Yeah.
Well, Kara's always where we staged, and you've been there, and it's
yeah.
fantastic too. Japan's just such an awesome country. People are so nice. There's population density is insane, but it's the cleanest country you've ever seen in your life, and they don't have garbage cans. You're responsible for your own mess. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Can you imagine
it
that?
Is
in North America,
remarkably clean.
That is not how we operate.
Right.
Gonna play the double peel here. A little bit surprised.
Yeah, this is the game plan, Brent. I mean, they haven't
where
piled
does this
things
yellow
up.
Go?
Well, we'll find out in a second.
Oh, right there.
Over the top and
Missed
rolls
it
to
by
a center,
miles.
too.
Sneaky.
Pretty good shot.
I think I'm kind of relieved, though, if I'm Rachel, a little bit.
Yeah.
I was feeling some pressure, and now the pressure's kind of off.
Yeah, I agree there. Now you can kind of map out the end and attack again. You really only need to make one good shot to dictate the action again. If they throw the guard, they would have had to continue to chase. Tracy Fleury playing out-turn hit and roll. And rolls under the guard, shows maybe half of the red #1 counter. Good shot there from Tracy.
Now it's not a super comfortable situation if you're Team Yoshimura. I know it's. I hate to say it, but I think you're right. I hate saying that. I think you're right. I think Nick and the team has a.
Well, I hated to say that Nick was right.
They're drawing now.
Dictating this. So
this is a good call. I thought they might hit and roll, and it's like this is a deuce now, but this is the only way to get out of a deuce. The unfortunate part is if we don't make it, it's the only way to give a 3-up.
This is a long ways to curl still too.
Needs the line and the weight. Oh, I think it's getting close. Speed's perfect. No bounce. I think they can probably nose that.
Yeah, that's a nose double to sit 3 now.
Yikes. This goes back to that double peel call. I don't know that was the right call. It also goes back to, Team Homan's going to make a bunch of shots in a row, and you got to continue to make precise shots. If that freeze was made, this is a pretty good situation. But it wasn't.
Overcurl this, like a little high is not the end of the world. Okay, whatever you think. I think control, same weight. Okay. Solid.
Rachel being very specific about where they can and can't be here. Sometimes shooters don't really like hearing that. Like, don't tell me where I can't be. I know.
Kind of.
But I think in this situation it was important because that miss is very close to the perfect make, where if you roll in and stagger it, they're never getting to that #1 counter.
Yeah, if this rolls in and hooks, they're dead. But this is perfect.
Will they sit 3? Will it go far enough? Oh, just 1 still.
Okay, so, but what do you do here if you're Team Yoshimura? There's nowhere to go.
Yeah,
You'd love to play the outturn draw, but if that stays half open, Rachel makes that double in her sleep to lie 4.
Yeah, and the double on the top one might play into a jam on the back red.
You might have to hit and roll on that one. That's not fun. You might have to call in King Nick. Hey, Nick, you told us to play this way. Now what do we do? Freeze there. If that's 3rd, that's a good call, but very precise shot to give up almost a guaranteed 2. This is where if there was betting or negotiating and curling, they'd turn around and say, Rach, what would it take to give you 2 here? What do we got to give you? And Rachel would probably say, there isn't anything in the world you can give me right now that I would take 2. Let's play this out.
I'm not sure that I'd take 3 from you right now. She
almost, right? It looks like 2 or 4 to me.
Yeah.
That would be a good shot. If you know the speed out there, that would be a fantastic shot to lie. Shot rock. But this is just all kinds of bad situations.
Tough guess on that line, too, going outside the draw path.
Yeah. Where does that double in the middle go? That would be a good one, but could that go back on the red? And the triple's close. That might be my shot if I knew that wasn't going to jam, and I can't say for sure from here. Yeah, I might play that. And even if you nose that middle one, I know they're going to hit and lie 3, but then you'd have a really makeable slash to maybe lie shot behind the guard. Would that work? Sometimes it's not, well, my dad was a curler growing up, but the one thing he always said, and I don't know who told him, or maybe he just figured it out, it's not what you make in curling, it's what you leave for the other team. You can make a fantastic shot or a bad one, what you leave for the next one. And sometimes you got to look bad to set up something good. And I think maybe the nose hit on the middle one here might make some sense. It would give you something to come around. It would give you something to slash.
Yeah, Rachel have to think real hard about hitting that back one then,
can't really
because that slash in would be shot probably, or at least second.
Yeah, and right now, like I said, if they could get second shot buried and have Rachel get 2, this is a tough draw. And if it's made perfectly though, like kind of back 4, I think she can get this mostly buried and shot rock, and then that would be absolute magic. We saw Rachel make one of these against Rana yesterday, where she was in huge trouble. It made the perfect come around, dead buried back 4 behind one top 8.
So Yoshimura going out wide on this in turn, trying to draw back 4. Brent, we've seen this path be a little banked throughout the week too. Comes down hard as you get farther out in the sheet.
This must be heavy.
The speed's coming off it now. I think the weight's close.
Mine's good if the speed's good, but this looks heavy. It's not heavy. Who said it was
really
heavy?
Good.
Who said it was heavy? That's really good.
That was John Cullen. Stopped in for one last comment before he hightailed out of here. And Left the workhorses to handle the weekend.
The boss left us. That's risky.
Yeah.
And then the
inmates running the asylum here.
The real professional left us, the professional media guy.
Yeah.
So we are not responsible for anything, folks. But you're going to want to tune in. I would never turn us off this weekend.
It should be noted that Brent and I are kind of running the show the rest of the weekend here.
I'm pretty sure we can do this from Green Sleeves or Turkey Joe's.
Yeah.
We did make friends with the owner of O'Reilly's last night.
That's a good spot, too.
And Yellow Bellies, same guy.
All right. Yellow Bellies is a good spot. That's where Jen and I went for a snack late last night. It was the only kitchen we could find open after. Playing in the East is awesome. Hospitality, food, culture, people, everything.
If we're tapping, I like this
But
one.
the night games are too late.
But I don't mind Emma's
because they try and, 8 o'clock. The Briarlit night games when we were out here were at 8:30 and they were 10 games.
Yeah.
We had Boston pizza like 7 nights in a row at midnight. Good for the body, good for the waistline, just good for everything.
I can only hit a quarter of this. My rock's going to be out here.
So can she chase it? Doesn't have to tap it very far. The freeze bump. Try and lie two.
Curl and I'm throwing back line, I might chip it in for shot. And then my shooter rolls so she doesn't have an in off. Do you like that?
Are you throwing like
I think I need
line
back
seems-
12.
back
That
line
way
seems
if it
like a
over
lot.
curls and I touch this. Back 12 and then my shooter's never leaving for a double. Do you like this, Trace?
Okay, yep.
I think it's there.
That's a really fantastic call and well judged, well thrown, and it's in a really good spot. I actually got by a couple of inches though. She could have buried that on the side of the button, I think. Ice this week's fantastic. Lots of movement. Talking to Mark Shurik, head ice maker here from day one. He's done I think every single slam, which is incredible. He does it because he loves it. I know Mark doesn't need to. He's got all sorts of businesses on the go and a family and everything else, but he just loves the sport. But he always makes fun of us that we set it too much. And he says, that's curling too much. I said, Mark, it doesn't matter how much it curls. First of all, there's no such thing as too much curl. And no matter how much it curls, we're never taking more than edge of 8. We'll just set it more to make you look bad. And he giggled. I think he called me a prick.
That doesn't sound like Mark.
No.
So back 12, back line type of weight from Homan here. Plan A, tapping the red back. Plan B would be chipping their own yellow counter in the top 8.
This is plan B already, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely on that yellow. Bumps it in for shot rock.
That might be a better shot.
Spins maybe in for second, close, or for third.
Which is important.
Didn't have enough ice. Good shot. Thanks.
That is a really good result, though. They can't get that out. But where do you go? You got to draw again. Draw and not leave a double. She could draw a back button or right beside that one. I don't like going over there. I think you got to play that same intern.
Freeze is no good. You're just giving up a draw for 2 then. So I think you have to play the same intern.
If I had to guess, I would say red is third,
Good, right?
which would be huge. That should take the huge score off the table.
Not enough ice.
Yeah. But yeah, you want it to be in tolerance. Like you don't want to give too much in.
For sure.
That's good.
They're still looking though.
Well,
They're not
but you
sure.
have to get it out of there. If
See,
you didn't roll far enough, you leave a double.
Anna having a closer look there, and I think that's the spot. I really don't see any other shot. I think you could bury kind of half of it but you don't want to go kind of half buried back 4 and leave the double. No, the double doesn't matter. So
Yeah, I want it to be within tolerance, and I can hit either one with that weight, and you're always good.
So they are playing the intern draw. Just need to get a piece of the button to get shot.
as long as they're second, it's a tough deuce. But you're gonna have to make the out turn draw. Like if you're half in the 4-foot here, front of your back one, an inch buried, no double. Rachel's gonna have to look to the other side of the sheet.
Well, if you throw this full 4, it's a really tough 2. It's actually an easier 2 if Yoshimura throws this to get shot.
Yeah, because then that same back liner Rachel just threw would be second.
Yeah, it would be for 2. If it stops short of being shot rock, I don't know that Rachel can get in there for second count. So intern draw, trying to get to the side of the button.
I think it's light early.
Now this
Hand
does
signals.
look like it needs to go. See if the sweepers can get this there. They're carrying it.
Looks close now. I don't think you want to switch. Let's get the speed right. Pretty good.
Not a bad spot.
Another 3 inches there, and that would have been perfect, I would suggest. So, whoa, something happened. Oh, that's Team Fujisawa with the old peel weight flash, trying to hit something real thin and didn't make any noise, and that's got to be more points for Team Anderson. This crowd is into it, and they're pro-Canadian, as they should be.
Very much so, but knowledgeable as well. It's not the novice curling crowd that if somebody draws the button, it's a roar no matter what. Or the blank is a groan because they rolled out.
Right. Team Ha in huge trouble here. Team Kim already up 4-0 and lying 5.
Oh.
I don't see anything good either, so. Looking like they're gonna have to start working on their Grand Slam of Karaoke song.
Oh yeah, that red, we're not shot.
So Rachel going with the wide intern draw here. Made a good shot, actually.
If we're high of that red, though, we're not enough.
So you can't be high, like it needs to get to the nose of the back one. So this is a very precise draw.
Yeah, I think so.
Looks to me, is there more room on the other side?
I thought so.
Is this more ice than before? This is way more ice.
The other shot that she hasn't even looked at is Rachel's a pretty good hitter. Is hit and roll off the yellow. Her own yellow into it, and that back red one would be a catcher. Straight roll, play like a normal weight, so the straight roll is there, and if it over curls a bit, you got about probably 2 to 3 inch room for error, but playing the draw, she made 2 of these a couple ends ago.
Homan's last, looking for a second point.
I think you're all there. Yep. Yeah,
Drawing to the side of the forefoot, curling early. Weight looks to be all there right now, Brent. That'll do.
Did that touch it? I don't know if it will do. It
No,
touched the red.
Bounced off, yeah. Yeah, it haired the red. It looked like from the long angle that it got by, but did not. So, little mistake there in the house from Fleury. That ends up being just 1 for Homan. So 3-3 at the break. Yoshimura and Homan tied up.
This is the Cornwall Curling Club. It's my home club. I started curling here when I was 7 years old. I decided to stick with curling because I really enjoyed the small team environment. I curled with the same girls from the time I was 9, basically until the end of juniors. So getting to form those friendships with my teammates was really special to me.
I started curling because of my grandparents, and both my parents curled and my brother, so it was just like a whole family thing. And when you walk into the curling club in Truro, Nova Scotia, and everyone greets you, and it's such a warm environment, and it's fun. After school, we'd go, and all of our friends would be there, so it was just like such a fun environment. And I got to curl with some of my closest friends growing up, so it really helped me keep in the game, and we all had the same goals.
I know what curling has done for our family, the opportunities it provided for both my girls. Nationally, you know, we've got to see travel the world. It's just a great sport. It's a small community. People, you know, at all levels, everybody knows each other. That's what, it's kind of a unique sport that way.
It's a sport that enables him to build his confidence and to make friends while doing something that he really enjoys.
Right now, at the age that they're at, it's just awesome to see when they come here and they see their friends at the curling club and the stuff they do off the ice too, and smiles and hanging out and just enjoying their time with friends.
So a slight miscue at the end of the fourth end from Team Homan. It looked as though they had that draw for 2 sewn up, but just touches their own counter. Top of the forefoot, tied 3-3 with Yoshimura. Yoshimura will have hammer starting the 5th end. We are here at the Coyote National, St. John's, Newfoundland and Labrador, Canada. 3rd leg of the Grand Slam of curling season. Tyler George here with 3-time world champion Brent Lang. Brent, I think we kind of took it for granted on that last shot, in the last few feet, that was made and done, and really no reason to get that close to the rock in the top of the forefoot, as if that's by any margin with a sweep at the end, that's made for 2.
Seemed like it, yeah. There was no real panic. I mean, maybe I missed it, but all I heard, Rachel was saying maybe carve, and Tracy was saying clean, Sarah, and it just feather ticked. They knew they couldn't be high on the back one, and the sweepers were saying it's a little heavy, so maybe played it a little tighter than, obviously played it a little tighter than they wanted to, but that's a big break for Team Yoshimura. Now flip the hammer, tied with, playing the 5th, and Team Homan has their work cut out for them. The momentum continuing to swing towards the squad from Sapporo, Japan.
Yeah, Brent, it kind of felt like at the beginning of the game that it was just business as usual for Rachel. Blank the first, take your 2 in the second.
Here we go.
And then that little feather tick by Emma Miskew in the 3rd end that set up that 3, besides the quarter rock double that Yoshimura made. But
ooh, here's a big mistake. That's Rachel's racing over to call this come around for Sarah Wilkes. That needed to be in the forefoot, and it's not even in the ring, so Anna Omiya won't be super excited about that one. And if I'm Team Yoshimura, I'm thinking, okay, we got to follow this down, freeze, and as soon as we can, we got to make that double peel in the middle. See if we can get out of here with a blank. And Rachel's thinking the opposite. Her eyes got bigger. Let's make this come around, Sarah, and put some pressure on him and see if we can't either steal or at least force to 1 here.
You want to make this one as good as you can now. He might be guarding it for a little while, and
that's as good as you
can.
Very
well done.
Split the red. I like this call.
Yeah, smart call here. Get 2 counters in. You're still playing 0 or 2. Maybe that was the plan, Brent. Right in the trap.
Rope-a-dope.
Yeah.
I don't think so. We'll see if Anna can kind of erase her first shot here by making a great split. You got to risk to make this good. It needs to be through the ring's weight. She got that right, but she needs the line. Again, they're not sweeping to make a curl. That's perfect weight, but just didn't get the line. I don't think that's going to stay.
Just move the center over a little bit into the rings, but yeah, that curl's another inch or 2. Brett, do you agree with Coach Edin's theory here on this ice that the carving isn't helping at all? Because obviously Team Homan does not, because they're still playing to make rocks curl.
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree. I agree with some of what he said. I mean, the teams that are carving firm weight or even normals, I think that's a waste of time and energy. And he had a great point. Like if carving a peel works, if you can make a peel move on a draw shot, you should be able to make it move an extra 3 feet, you know, or a foot or 2 feet. And it's definitely not that. Nobody's crazy enough to think that. But I also think, you know, the rest of the best players in the world still believe it. Well, that to me makes it true.
It's hard to argue with Nicholas with how knowledgeable he is about angles and spin and ice and everything. But as you said, I mean, everybody else, literally everybody else is still doing it.
I heard 9. Good throw. I was saying like 8, 9. Yeah, and it would have been. Like we wanted it back 4. I know. I decided
So trying to clean this up a little bit here. Second stone, Mina Kobayashi. This is over curl, playing the straight back now. That is a great line call, and that's pretty good.
Yeah, good job by Yoshimura to get perfect plan B out of it. Maybe a third of that Yellowstone showing for Homan.
She went straight to the wide come around. even if this goes back 4 for Emma, just wanting to keep things in play. It would almost not be terrible if you kind of accidentally left this one open, the old kind of touch the nose kind of thing, the secret message, make it look like we tried to not miss it, but have them chase and leave this center. If this is made really well, I think Yoshimura will play the run back, and if I'm Rachel, I don't want that to happen, so I almost don't want this to be made too good. They might chase that, which I think would be a good thing. No, she's not going for it. Good call.
The safe call, playing the run here. Love to make contact with that red in the top of the 12-foot and get some yellows moving as well.
Right on the nose, looks really close to almost getting both yellows. Needs to be high, if anything, though. Can't be low. Roll to a center. They love it. Oh, that's actually not great, but that's better than missing it the other way. Hard to guard both of these, but advantage Team Homan.
Either one. 2.5. 2.5. Yep. Okay.
Like 15 to tee, high 14 to tee.
Mid-tight guard here, the plan for Tracy Fleury. Guarding the number 2 counter so they don't leave the double.
Can't leave this high. Don't want to leave an easy chase.
Looks light, hard. Cross center completely. Get it off center all the way.
It's definitely not getting to 2.5.
Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going.
Too high, but the line's perfect, so I still think you have to run that. You could, the other thing is you could chase shot rock, roll away, Rachel will hit it, and then you switch to come around the one top 8 and try and make a deuce that way, because it's, I don't see a blank here very often. So you'd hate to get forced in the 5th without even taking a chance at a deuce.
Just playing the peel for the time being.
Doesn't change much. Gives Tracy a chance to maybe make a better guard, but maybe that was a good guard by accident, making that run back longer.
It is, yeah.
Fleury trying to replace the guard. Probably will try to get this a little bit tighter than the last one.
Lots of room. Curl a bit. Curl, curl. Whoa, whoa, just curl.
It needs to finish.
Gotta go.
It'd be just a hair deeper.
A little bit more. Go, 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 go. Hard. Really good.
Yeah, good guard there, right to the top of the Coyote logo. Brett, do you think about playing hack on the top one here, as there's a piece showing on the outside? Says you're getting awfully late in the end now.
Yeah, I don't like chasing the top one. I could be talked into chasing the back one. The only thing that's, not the only thing, one of the good things about continually running this guard or peeling the guard is you have the whole 4-foot on the outturn side. It's a good shot.
Yeah,
that
really
guard's
good
high
result.
enough, opens up the back one, and that's a big shot there.
Yeah, guard rolls a little middle. Usually that'd be a bad thing, but the number 1 counter is in the side of the 4-foot, so Yoshimura has to be very pleased with that result.
It's their guard now. It's high enough you can probably chase anything that's on the button. Pretty good chance to score now, but a really good chance to force. If you're Rachel, you want this one.
Depends if we can leave it a piece open on the inside.
Let her tell you.
Yeah, just to block off the hit and roll.
So want to actually over curl.
For sure. That
And probably want this biting the top 4. She said just a piece open, so I think that makes some sense. If it stayed dead buried full 4-foot, I think that's good. She's worried about the hit and roll, but I think if you're full 4-foot, she has to play the run back. So I don't think she can afford to try and play a hit and roll that if she knows is she leaves a shot dead buried top 4.
Homan throwing this to the top of the 4-foot around the center guard.
Full 4, you gotta go. 4-foot, line screen. Line's really good.
Rachel seems to think it has to go. Sweepers are off and on.
Full 4, you gotta go. Curl it if you like, curl. Curl.
Just full 8-foot, but buried.
So not deep enough that this hit and roll is dangerous, though. But is it open for Rachel to use it if you make it? I don't think it is.
Yeah, she's got thin half to a third.
So if you roll right behind it, good chance at a deuce. If you don't, though, and Rachel does, good chance for a steal. So this shot right here is going to go a long way in telling us who's going to win this game. A great shot here and a deuce out of nowhere would be not just 2 points on the board and a 2-point lead, but a big swing in your direction momentum-wise, because Rachel's had you the whole end, and now if they give up a deuce, it's going to feel like worse than that.
Yeah, no question. They have dictated the action the entire end. If Yoshimura makes this roll, 2 definitely in the picture. So soft weight in-turn hit and roll attempt here for Yoshimura. Trying to possibly set up a skips deuce.
Needs to stay shot here. This sounds bad if you're a Team Homan fan.
This is really close. Look at that.
Oh, they just overswept it, and that'll be chaseable, but hard to nose, so should be a makeable shot to score. That was...
I think they got surprised by the dead roll there. I think
maybe,
they hit it right where they wanted to, and we just haven't seen rocks kicking off as lively as what we've seen maybe in the previous few slams.
If that rolls another 4 or 5 inches, Rachel can't get it, and there's going to be both draws for 2, so... If that chase was easier, Rachel might play that to leave it dead buried, but hit and stay, probably hack weight.
You probably got max ice here.
That's an interesting final comment. I've got max ice here. Then wouldn't you take a little less?
Homan, we'll see if this does end up being max ice. Rachel say it's not on it yet. Needs to curl. Good shot, safely by. It sticks around on the outside of the 12-foot, so no blank available. Yoshimura will be forced into the draw for 1. So Brent, Rachel did dictate that entire end, left 1 opening. Yoshimura was not able to take advantage, so mission accomplished for Team Homan.
Not an overly difficult draw here, but a super important one. I mean, needs to be better than full 8, so if any little mistake here by Yoshimura, and it could be a steal. See if Sayaka can get the speed right, and anything but getting it curling early. If it gets curling early, this side really does move on its own, so you don't want to help it towards the center, but draw for 1. Mission accomplished for Team Homan, though, regardless of what happens here. That looked heavy.
Final stone of the 5th. Yoshimura needs to get just better than full 8-foot for her point. Sweeper's just cleaning this one in.
Looks perfect. Made it right out of her hand, I think.
Well, that's just
impressive.
A valet shot for the Sweepers, right to the side of the button. Single for Yoshimura. Takes now a 4-3 lead onto the 6th end.
This is the Cornwall Curling Club. It's my home club. I started curling here when I was 7 years old. I decided to stick with curling because
when it comes to the game we love, having the right gear makes all the difference.
Gold Line's new curling shoes and brooms are a game changer.
The shoes,
unbelievably comfortable. And the brooms? Lightweight and effective, giving you control on every sweep.
When I step onto the ice, I'm not just prepared, I look sharp.
Have you seen these shoes? They are a game changer.
And the brooms? Light as a feather.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And is the choice of champions.
Team Homan with a clinical end set up the force. In the 5th end, Yoshimura does take one. 6th end of action. Homan now with hammer, down by a point. Brent, we've seen Yoshimura go to the center guard every time without hammer. Nothing different here. And it's been placed right on that Coyote logo every time perfectly.
Right on that maple leaf. That's a cool logo. It's a great one for curling.
This one over curling just a touch. I don't know if that's on the center line.
I don't think Rachel will chip it anyway, so I don't think it's overly important in this instance, but
Team Ha trying to mount a comeback against Team Kim, getting 2 in the 4th on 2 great shots by the skipper, and now sitting 3 going to final stone for Team Kim, having to draw the forefoot.
Hold the line.
Hold the line. Yep, for me.
Whoa, I think you're there.
Wilkes going to the corner guard. Homan will be pushing hard to get 2 here, Brent.
that's a good start. That's a perfect corner guard, very usable. Interested, will Rachel go to the straight come around on Sarah's second again?
I would expect so if this is made. Perfect draw by Team Kim for their single against that 3, so they maintain a 5-2 lead. Over on sheet B, Hasselborg leading Black 4-2. Black with hammer in the 6th. And sheet A, Carrie Anderson 7-3 advantage with hammer playing the 6th.
So she's sticking with it. The red one not being buried helps to make this call a lot easier.
Yeah, if they're going to guard number 1, they have to leave a stagger on the centers, which sets up better for a double peel. And if they do stack the 2 centers, then there's a hit and roll to the corner side.
It's coming down. Take a look. Curl. Wide open.
Need to get this one buried, though. This one, you can't leave this one chaseable, but it's really curling now, I think.
The line's really good.
Pretty good.
Keep going. The whole way. Don't stop.
So I think Yoshimura might want to come in and bump that red and roll buried, or just come throw a high guard. That's fine, too. You're 1 double peel away from being in trouble, though. See how this plays out. I mean, ideally, you'd throw this quite high then, get some separation. This is another one, though, where it might be better to kind of just split the center line high here, let them chase, and then you can use the double centers. I know you feel like you got to guard that one in there, but maybe that's not your, that might not be your savior, because I tell you, this is all over the guard and really close to it. Maybe get lucky and line it up somehow.
That's crossing, so. A double peel and roll to the corner looks like it's there.
Where does that red one go? Goes close to the corner, but probably goes under it. Goes in between the corner and the one in the house. Rachel's not sure. She's having a good look at it. Could also just chase. I think the double. That's what I would play.
Yeah, you should be able to double peel and roll to a corner, too. Even if you just make the double peel, it's still good. But
where does the red go? It doesn't hit the corner guard, and it definitely doesn't go in the one in the house, I don't think. So that means to me it goes in between those yellows.
It should. You hit the right spot. Rachel's a little concerned that it's going to roll into the corner.
No, because you can plant this and then we're really dead.
Yeah.
You have to get this off.
I do think we need to deal with this at some point.
I know.
So.
It's just that we can see this. Yeah. Light 3.
It's not an overly hard double peel for
like an easy
Emma.
peel or a down
No, I think you need peel because we have to get this one going.
Okay.
No, we need big peel because if we ever plant this, we're dead.
I don't know that you're dead, but yeah, I get what she's
Then she
saying.
throws a one guard and we're never double peeling. Okay. We have to get this off. Or we chase it now because it's a really good draw. What do you guys like?
Chase would really apply some pressure.
I think I like
We
Bailey
have to
with
get
that.
this one off center. I'd rather leave our rock here than plant it.
Seems really concerned about leaving one there. It doesn't look like it's that difficult to double peel.
It doesn't look that easy to actually to leave it there. It looks awfully thin, like half a rocket spins off. So anything from like 7/8 to half a rock, that's a big margin for error for somebody as good as Emma.
Yep.
I mean, that's not enough for me personally, but
Really gotta go.
I like it when they're corner frozen on an inch of it, where it's like hit it anywhere. This is nosed.
Okay, that's fine.
That's not that bad. Not exactly what you wanted, but it's a yellow guard. It's fairly high. They're going to run this. I don't like this call. Yeah, this is, oof.
It really feels, Brent, like they're playing this entire game by a specific plan. There really hasn't been more than 4 or 5 rocks in play the entire game.
This calls for a high guard, doesn't it? Or a tight guard even.
I
And even
think
again,
so.
even if it overcurls and doesn't guard shot rock, the most important thing is to keep some center guards here if you want to force to 1 and not give up 2. You could make this perfect and roll to a center. That would be nice. This is super comfortable for Rachel now. Although she's not racing to make a call. Gotta play the back line, hit and roll under. Won't be a double. Could freeze. That's a good call too. There is room with how high that is to get back line, get close to the guard and roll right under the guard and leave no double. Yeah, that's pretty good too. Interested to see how this one plays out.
I like moving the stone now. Shouldn't be a lot of danger the rest of the end.
Give him bigger set than Rachel wanted from Emma.
Yeah, Emma's already put her broom on the ice. She
That's
doesn't like
never a
this
good
one.
sign, right? Gonna move it. If it removes it,
Yeah.
okay. Not ideal. Very makeable double, but
Definitely a set. You heard Rachel say it. Didn't need to. We definitely saw it.
double and stay there. Yoshimura would be happy with a blank here. I don't think Rachel would be as happy, that's for sure. Can hit this one almost anywhere high. It's not super thick, and that would be the only way to really miss this. Have to be super, super thin not to make the double. Ooh, they played it pretty cute, but no trouble there.
Double is made.
And Rachel's gonna have to make a precise draw. Got the right person in the hack though, Tracy Fleury.
I'd like to get this to biting top fours to be shot.
Yes, Rachel right now. Would you think, would she rather take one here or blank? What do you think she'd say?
Top 8, clean it for
I think she'd blank.
Yeah, I think
she gets
so
the
still, hey?
opportunity.
But she's definitely willing to take a chance to set up a deuce.
Just Sarah. Really got to go to get by. Okay, over and stop.
Just laugh at the way she says that. You know, most skips are screaming at their sweepers to
Direct.
sweep harder.
Yeah.
But she's very directly saying, you know, guys, you have to sweep hard or we're going to wreck.
Yeah,
So
usually,
please do that.
and in some ways, I think that's a way better way to call sweeping because you get the different octaves as skips or thirds or whoever. They go higher and higher, louder and louder, and it gets almost harder and harder to hear them because they're less clearly saying. You always know what Rachel's saying.
Yeah. And you save the screams for when you need that little extra out of your sweepers too. You know, the Scotties final, you got a big shot and you're screaming, then
ramp it up.
Yeah, you need to have your sweepers with an extra gear.
Uh-oh.
This has got a long ways to curl.
Pretty good if that goes, but that's not going.
Yeah, enough to sit two.
It is just enough to sit two. So that's going to probably make somebody score. I still probably like the draw if I'm Rachel. You could hit and roll, I guess. Set up a double. Interesting situation. Not really much of a chance for a steal. But getting late. Just set up a hit and roll. I think I'd give Tracy one more shot at that draw, but this is fine. Well, she can hit and roll right to the top forefoot.
Curl. Keep going, keep going. Roll it if you can. Okay, it's a good spot.
Okay, the nose now will leave a double, so decision time. I also don't know that it'd be second shot. I don't think it, well, it's close. If you're gonna roll, you gotta roll behind the guard.
It will be. So yeah, you need to roll to just buried, no farther.
Or edge on edge is good. I think that'd probably be your choice. You hit and roll just so that it's kind of like a quarter buried or even an inch or two buried. Leave yours in a very usable spot. Lie to, no double. The murmurs in the crowd is Team Anderson with the hammer up 4, playing 6, and about to have to shoot against 4. I mean, 2 of them are just in the 12-foot, but.
Yeah, Fujisawa is going to try to take the draw path away, too.
I think if Sayaka noses this, Rachel's going to try the double, so assuming they're shot, which they might not be, so maybe throw that in the garbage.
Very precise roll here for Yoshimura. Needs to get a little inside to be shot, we believe. That's going to roll out.
That is a big unforced error. And Rachel hitting the lie too. Maybe throw some speed, get a little roll low without jamming, and there'll be no doubles, so.
Keep it there. Is that normal? Like yours ran
Would love to
straight,
roll
but
this to biting top forefoot, which probably would force Yoshimura into hitting the open one to give 2.
You think I need to keep it there here? Yeah, I think you keep it there. Okay. Sounds good.
Rachel Homan's first.
Really hard.
They're in the 6th. Sweeper's on this one hard. Ooh, papers by.
It does leave a double, I think, if that rolled far enough that you can see the inside edge. Or is the guard in the way?
I think she's probably playing the short roll under center anyways. Looks to be the call.
I did not see her rolling that far.
And that final draw from Fujisawa went right to wide open top 4, so not good. And Carrie Anderson makes no mistake with the hit and stick. 8-3 advantage for her after 6 ends.
So even if this hit and roll is made, there will be a shot for 2 for Rachel. That guard is, right around halfway. This will be full 4 if it's buried, so it will be chaseable, but no other real shot for Sayaka here. Needs to put some pressure on Rachel. Make her make something for the deuce.
Big shot here for Yoshimura. You can get the roll underneath, put a little pressure on Homan for the final shot. pretty good. Does show a third maybe on the outturn side.
Almost perfect.
Yeah, really good spot. Another inch or two probably would have been ideal, but if you're going to show a piece on either side, Brent, this is the side you want to show.
So this chase is very makeable. We've seen so many chases. I would not want to throw it at that ice, but Rachel throws it differently than I do.
That is really tight broom.
You
for
wouldn't
that
make
shot.
it with that ice either, Tom.
I would not take that broom. You can just put it on the nose of the guard for me with that broom.
Yeah. Play the run back.
That's an 11 fourth.
Yeah.
Big shot here.
Rachel Homan, final shot. Sixth end. Hack weight dig for two. Definitely a little positive on the release there. Will it come back?
Line's
Needs
good
to get
now.
it out of it. 12 foot for two, and yes, she will. 2 times for Rachel Homan. Now leading 5-4 over Yoshimura after 6 ends.
There's a place where the world's best curling not only lives, it rocks. Download the new Grand Slam of Curling app and live stream all the action. Get exclusive content, stats, merch, and more. Let's rock.
Back and forth affair on sheet C here in our feature matchup. Rachel Homan makes the hack waiter for two in the 6th end. Now leading Sayaka Yoshimura 5-4. Yoshimura with hammer in the 7th.
You can clean it.
Line's going, yep.
Sarah Wilkes throwing the center guard to start things off.
Hard line.
Okay. Yeah,
Keep
can
going.
go for everything.
Real tight. Here, I'll finish it a bit.
There.
So Brent, it'll be interesting here for Yoshimura now. Obviously, can't stick to the same game plan as they've been playing. Need to get either a force or a steal. Or sorry, a 2 or a 0 for home and force or steal. So we'll see how hard they go at this. We haven't seen, again, I don't think more than 5 rocks in play this entire game.
Well, they have dealt with the guards quite early and often, but Rachel's not going to want to let them blank. I wonder if I don't think she'll throw double centers. I haven't seen it actually this week when you're up 1.
Nose, you can tap it here.
So freezing. I think that's comfortable for Yoshimura. Kind of leaves the blank in play, and this is one of the points Nicholas Sedin made when he was in the booth, is in this situation, sometimes teams try so hard to force you that they force you to 3.
Hard everything.
So a blank here, as much as Rachel's willing to take on some risk to prevent it, up 1 without is still wins more games than they lose, wins more games than down 1 with, so.
This is going to stop a hair short, but gets to the 8 foot.
The corner freeze, you open side. You go open side. Try and keep the play away from the center.
I don't like the freeze on the yellow stone here. Now you're piling stuff up in a non-scoring position under the center guard. I would have preferred the draw to the back quadrant there. I never see, Brent, much gain in this shot when the rock is that high if you're playing a 0 or 2 end.
Yeah, the question always when you're deciding what to play is, okay, if we do this, we make it good, what are they going to do next? And is that going to put us in a bad spot? Or then if they do that, what are we going to do? You've got to look a few shots ahead. And this one's accidentally not too bad. Not what they played. Line was perfect. I don't think there's a double there. It's too much underneath the yellow.
I think Rachel's a little annoyed by that one.
Yeah. You know, make what you call kind of thing. Maybe Rachel had a plan for that, but this is just eliminate a red and roll out. Try and stick on the side. But mission number 1 is kill a red one.
Yep. Hard. Solid board. Clean. Solid. Heavy.
Curl. Can't hurt it.
If Coach Adine has the influence we believe he has on this squad, they're going to be playing hard for the blank at this point.
It's looking less likely. Looks like a score now.
So I think it's coming down. Did you hear me?
Gonna run it though, yeah. You're right. This is. I don't want to say it's crazy, but this is not one that would cross my mind.
Yeah, it's not. I'm not calling what I would play, but I think this is how Nicholas plays these situations. And again, they've played the entire game mostly open.
This is a thin double here, but looks close.
Really close. Not that close.
No, just missed the sweeping call there. Now if you're Rachel, you got to decide, do we need a guard here to force, or I think you hit, especially because you're not that upset if you give up force.
I think maybe I'm guarding one more time before the hit.
Rachel agrees with you.
Turn the comms on. Rachel doesn't need them very often, but figured I'd give her one.
The guard though. What if they don't feel?
Yeah, I like hitting on third stones. I don't like hitting on second, just because there's so much end left.
Timeout. Here comes new coach Paul Webster.
He's no Jen Jones, but
no, come on.
We'll see what he's got. See if Paul has the guts to say, as your wife did to Rachel, I don't like that shot at all.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
Oh.
And Rachel played something different after. And they
Jen
got their
did say they're 2 for 2 on timeouts.
Yeah, no, it played out perfectly after. But we'll listen into Webby, see what he's got here.
Splitting.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Well, if we're here and they wrap around and I hit this and we're lying 2, 3, center line, 4, like staying, like going like edge on edge with this, so we can always have this if they wrap around. And then we're planted here.
I think I would hit this.
And then we're split, yeah.
So sorry.
Emma's last.
What?
Yeah, like they, yeah.
Like, what do they do
You like
if
to
you
hit
hit and
now
roll
instead of the guard?
towards us here? Hit and roll to the right side, lie 3. They make one of the doubles, and then you get to nose, and your rocks are 12 feet apart.
Yeah, all depends on where you
Yeah.
leave him if you play the hit.
I like either one.
I just feel like Yoshimura showed their
Specific, it
hand
has to be on
that
this side.
they're running if you throw it moderately
I
tight.
like the hit. Yeah.
Which slide? This way?
There's not a lot of places you can hit it where you don't spread them out either. Like shooter can roll, or you hit it on the nose and back one rolls. Yeah, that's what Rachel's showing us now.
Yeah. I would hate to overcurl a guard or something, or like, I don't know.
I don't mind the hit, but my thought is just you're giving your opponent 5 cracks at blanking. Even if there's 3 in, you make 1 double in the first 2 shots. You got to play pretty perfect the last few to not give another one back.
Yep, I totally agree.
But yeah, I could be talked into either. I think as long as you played the guard tight enough to entice Yoshimura to run again, then you're in a good spot.
Down normal.
Yep. Whoa.
Down normal.
Yes.
Hard, Sarah.
Let it go. Hard. It's not good.
Okay.
Triple.
Good feet.
She throw light?
Text from Al Hackner here in the booth.
Yeah,
sending me and Brent pictures of
was that shuffleboard or
curling
was
in
he winning?
Yuma out in the desert, saying we should be calling those games instead. I don't disagree with you, Al. Don't know that they'd pay us for that one, but looks like a pretty fun trip, Langer.
Almost a triple here, but I don't think quite.
It does get 2 of them. That rock's not in a great spot to not leave a double, too.
So I think they have to guard now.
Yep. Fun trivia question, Brent. We were talking about Karazawa earlier, the Invitational. So Al Hackner came with us as player coach, 5th man, and we were technically Team USA at that event as you represent your country. So our final round robin game, we played against Appleman from Canada. We're both the 2 and the 3 seeds, no matter how the game went. So we had Hack play against Canada. So there's your trivia question.
He's still got it.
What game or tournament did Al Hackner play for Team USA against Canada?
Okay, it's gonna be wide.
Karazawa with us. First shot made a run double, I think, too, if I remember right.
Ooh, that's
not great.
No, that's not good at all. Hit and roll away, and blank is likely now. So, and it's not a guard that's even tight enough that even if you wanted to take on the come around to put some heat on them, it's too high anyway. So, yeah, I was at Hack's final Canadian Seniors. We were the end of the earth, somewhere in Nova Scotia, like literally 3 hours from Halifax on the ocean, and they did a great job of a send-off for the Iceman. Ooh, that needs to stay.
Big difference if that's biting or not.
No.
Looks to be on the paint, but that's big. Rachel really not much option but to hit.
No, exactly.
The guard's too high to go under. Yeah, that's a big error by Tracy Fleury because there's a chance that if that was a well-made guard, even if they made the dig, that Rachel would consider going under.
We don't want to roll out. Yeah, do you like up normal? I don't think it's there. I think you need peel. We don't need to. We just need to stick around for now. Okay, throw up normal. Okay.
So up normal, the call for weight. They were talking about peel if they were trying to make the roll because it had to be flat. But still keeping the weight solid, Brent, on the outside of the ice is taking the ice out of it in case there's some frost.
It'd be great to stick around, but I don't think it even really matters with where that guard is.
Curl.
A good shot.
At least trying to roll it in the vicinity of the center guard for later in the end.
We're looking more and more like a blank, and we're going to have that classic one down with situation in the last end. And but a couple more shots need to be made before we get that far. Team Kim, after making a great draw against a whole bunch in 5, steal 1 in 6. So they're up 4. Team Ha has the hammer in 7. Team Anderson, they've got Team Fuji in all sorts of trouble. This is handshakes, even if Carrie falls here. That game's about to be over. Carrie Anderson, Team Anderson's going to be our first team into the semifinals on the ladies' side. And then Team Hasselberg, fist bumps all around there, and they did have the hammer up 1 playing 7, so I'm not sure. A lot of things that could be fist bumps there. Well, they did get a deuce, so they go up 3 coming home. Team Black needing 3 to stay alive.
This is where that inner line was. I think out there it takes a long time to get up.
Anderson on the opposite side of the bracket too, Brent. So
we got an interesting situation here. Team Yoshimura hit and rolled behind the guard, and I assume Rachel's freezing.
Yeah, you can't really throw it to the 4-foot as the guard's so high you could dig it no matter where it was. So this is a straight freeze attempt.
Tons of room. Well,
Doesn't look like tons of room.
Yep. Keep your broom down. Don't lose it. Hard line.
Is Carrie hitting 5 again over there?
Yeah, a million.
This has to go to get to the freeze.
Very nice. Good shoot, guys.
Pretty good shot there.
Very good shot.
Rachel Homan. Playing the stats with that one, Brent, just trying to get this force if they can.
Yeah, it's a massive difference, the percentage chance of winning
13-9.
tied with versus one up without. Both are good situations, but tied with is much better. I'm going to make up a number and say if you're one up with, you're going to win like probably 60% of the game, 65. There's our first final. I could see the future.
Yeah, carried another 4 for fun. 12-3 victory over Satsuki Fujisawa, so she will be in the semifinals. Opposite side of the bracket from our game here. It is possible to see another slam final match between Rachel Homan and Carrie Anderson, but Rachel with some work to do still here. Looks like Yoshimura is playing to unlock that yellow stone.
She's playing to kill the back red, yeah, trying to nose it. Probably with like hack weight or something. Needs to stay right on the nose, and then Rachel will have to do the same thing.
And sweeping to hold the lines and stay on the nose.
This looks really good.
And great shot.
Same thing? Yeah, you know it. Okay.
And again, Brent, Rachel, if you're wondering why she's was playing the freeze in the previous shot, we talked about the stats. The difference between being down one with and up one without is fairly negligible. I don't think Rachel's concerned about either situation, but your odds of winning increase dramatically if you're able to force or get a cheap steal. So she's not really playing with a lot of fear in this situation. Risk-reward shot.
I think give me the same line. Because if we're tapping, we're hitting even higher. Like you had more room to go by it, whereas now you're going to hit it earlier. Same ice. Me too. If you can release it like half a foot, it's perfect. But feet for the line, Paul.
I don't think it matters if you release it. This is a line shot. If it doesn't move anything and it's frozen on the nose, it doesn't matter. That red one's going nowhere. It's going to stay, and you won't be able to hit it and stay with the shooter for 2. So whatever it takes to get this one on the nose.
The 4-time Scottish champion, 2-time world champion. Rachel Homan playing the freeze.
Crowd's into it. Tap is really irrelevant.
Yeah, this needs to curl still. Might bounce a little bit.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that will leave a tap for 2 for Yoshimura.
I don't quite follow why tapping it mattered. It was all about the line, and
yeah, with the guard where it was, the tap made no difference for that shot. I can understand the tap if the guard's not there, but there's never going to be an up-weight shot regardless if you make that freeze. So
yeah, even if the guard wasn't there, if you were on the nose of it, there's no hit and stay where you kill the Rachel's shooter, and there's no blast to get the middle one out. So the only way there is a blast to get the middle one out is if you do tap it. But that guard is there, so it's kind of a big miss there, though, and a huge opportunity. Because the opposite is true for Yoshimura. I mean, one down with, you have a chance to win, but it's probably 60-40 against. One up, you can switch that, and tied without if they were forced here, which they should have been or could have been. You know, they're probably, I don't know if it's even 10% chance of winning. So all of that to say, big shot.
Final stone, the 7th end for Yoshimura. Looking like hack weight, just trying to tap this yellow #1 counter through 4-2.
Needs to curl, needs to curl.
Now they're carving.
Really needs to curl. That yellow needs to bounce.
Just good enough. Yeah, that will be 2. So Yoshimura with the deuce. will take a 6-5 lead on to the 8th end over Rachel Homan.
I've stood at the pinnacle of curling and battled in the most intense games.
Out on the ice, there's no room for compromise.
And when the pressure's on,
Every millimeter counts.
It's not just a game.
It's about maximizing performance, pushing limits,
seizing victory.
When victory hangs in the balance,
I know what I'm relying on.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
It's a gold line.
And it's the choice of champions.
So Yoshimura with 2 in the 7th. Now leading 6-5 over Rachel Homan here at the Coyote National. St. John's, Newfoundland, Canada. The Mary Brown Center. Tyler George here with 3-time world champion Brent Lang. Brent, every end of this game has seemed relatively similar. You know, we talked right from the get-go about the plan of action for Yoshimura, trying to shorten the game, keeping things simple, and it almost seemed like a rinse-repeat for 7 ends with keeping things relatively open. It's never been trading hits to blank, but they've still only had a few rocks in play every end, and it seems like, you know, Rachel's kind of allowed them to draw this game out, and now 6-5, Yoshimura leads after that miscue by Rachel on her last.
Yeah, it has been an interesting game. They do seem like they've had a game plan, and up 1 coming home against Rachel. Again, I think if you promised that to Team Yoshimura, they would have taken it.
I would take that. I think any team would.
You know, it's better than a 50-50 chance they win now, according to the stats. And flip side, if you're Rachel, this is pretty much the most you've been pushed. I mean, they were down 1 yesterday against Rana coming home, and they got 5.
6, actually,
6? Okay.
for fun.
So touchdown, just didn't need the extra point. But yeah, it's been a well-played game, though. Let's not forget that. Both teams have played quite well. It's not like Team Homan has struggled. They've missed a shot here or there. But Team Yoshimura has played well, too. And I'm going to call out Nick here. Hopefully we can hear King Nick.
I think we just hit and roll for a corner. But yeah.
Can't quite hear him, but I think his first call was around top 12. I don't hate around back 4. Keep those reds as spread out as possible, and then they're talking about, and then we're going to go run that corner.
I can promise you one thing, he's not going to call the freeze on the Yellowstone on the side of the 12-foot because he hates that shot.
Does he?
Yeah.
So something, 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 and then we make this double.
Yeah, going under and then playing the run, I'm assuming, is what they're talking about. Probably dependent on what Rachel plays. Now, they are throwing the top 12, which serve as a counter and a guard. You want this all the way to your stone, Brent, or you just want this maybe biting?
It sounded like they want it biting. To me, you want separation between your reds, but also if it went right to it and it overcurled a little bit onto the you know, the low side, the yellow rock side, and then the run back was made, this one would go straight across into the other yellow. That would be kind of sneaky good. Don't think that's what they're playing, but it's not far off what they're playing, so it could end up that way, and that would be really good for Team Yoshimura, because that one buried behind the corner that Sarah Wilkes made perfectly is a big problem. This needs to curl, though. They're back to carving again. Sorry, coach. That was quite heavy.
Yeah, bumps that to the open now, too. Now this is all about positioning for Rachel Brent and, you know, putting stones spread out where there's no double.
I think I would hit shot rock
I like
and
the first call.
try and roll under. I'd be worried hitting the first one and rolling under. If you roll like to a third open, you cover the shot rock and you've hooked the guards. Can't really play a run back. Not a fan of this one.
I think she's just playing for nose, probably with that broom.
Yeah, not that hard to overcurl by an inch or two and hook this, though.
Emma Miscue's first here in the 8th end.
Yep.
The unsung leads, too, Brent. Once again, both have been fantastic today.
To me, if you make the hit on shot, roll under, I don't like where this red one is, but I'd like to make the other team deal with it. They might run it. Or, ooh.
Okay.
So that's pretty good. I mean, shot rock's still open, but that yellow one's a guard, and it's buried. So there's double centers right now. And I wanted nothing to do with double centers if I have the hammer I need to.
Already eyeballing the angle run for Rachel.
Yeah, for sure.
That's my prediction for the end, is Rachel's playing the outturn run for the win.
Looked quickly at the run back on the corner guard, but I don't know. Guess it takes away that angle raise, and if it's made, you could roll for a center. I think they're out of timeouts, though, are they not?
They have one left, according to the scoreboard.
But I thought Nick came down here once, or was I dreaming that? I dream about Nick a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, not really.
You're
But
not the only one. And not me, but there's others, I'm sure.
I think you go top 12, just to, you know, even top tight, right in front of yours, bury an inch. If they make the double, there's then a double up back on the yellows. So
And I think this was the call in the timeout, too, that this is what they were planning to do, but they don't seem convinced.
But they didn't make the first shot.
Yeah.
Nick thought that, yeah, if we make this, they'll play the run, and then we can play the run, but they've got two in the rings now, so I don't know that Nick would love this now. I think it's a pretty good situation in the middle, so throw another one in the middle, make it a little better. Got to make this if you're going to play it.
Yeah, they're killing my prediction, too, because that corner guard's gone now. Does roll to a center.
Sure rolls to a good spot.
Not a bad result, but Homan does have a piece of it and can hit and sit 3.
But you can't love those triple centers if you're Rachel.
The centers are definitely a problem.
Yeah, this is going to get interesting. So, no option here but to chase this.
No. Hack. Queen's good.
And then if you're Team Yoshimura, I mean,
No, curl.
I don't see any situation where
Really gotta go, Tracy, hard.
Rachel doesn't have two at least in the house the whole
Hard
end
on the
unless
red,
this
hard
is
on the red.
flashed.
Go. Hard, gotta go. Keep going a little farther. Hard. Okay, good shot.
Yeah,
Good
so
enough.
let's get the chips in the middle. Let's race to the button now.
Yeah, this is looking like all or nothing for Yoshimura. Now playing the in-turn draw around, but a pile of stones to bury under.
Yeah, this is the best you can hope for, because where's even the double peel that doesn't run into that yellow one top 12, or the nose double peel goes in the side yellow ones?
Yeah, there's the in-off your own yellow, but
This is
that's
classic.
only if it gets deep enough to play it.
Classic, too good, too early. Too many rocks around when you're lying 3. There's always going to be something because there's too many rocks around to not leave anything. And even if this isn't made perfect, but it does look pretty good.
Yuna Katani trying to bury side of the button.
Not bad, chaseable.
Yeah, there is a piece showing.
But gotta look, and that's gonna be their shot that's gonna save them. Now, it's not the outturn run back it's the in-off that I'm looking at for Rachel later. That's
trying to set up another 6, I think.
Right?
It comes in nice.
Does not want to nose this, wants to roll away, but it's really hard to nose, so make it go away. Save the shooter if you can, but that's not even that important.
Tracy Fleury, in-turn dig attempt.
Clean it, yes! Hard, Sarah!
Sounds tight. As you said, Rachel's saving the yells for when it really matters, but this is on the yellow.
Whoa.
In a big way. Another in-off. A little light, Rachel said, but
yeah, plenty of options for the in-off. Now you almost want to play the hit and roll if you're Yoshimura to take it away from Rachel. And even if you nose, it's actually a pretty good shot.
It's not terrible. I think you draw first, but yeah.
I'd just be so worried about that rock being there.
The only good news is if they make it right away, it'll probably be open, and then you still have this draw because there's going to be 2 in there, but I don't disagree.
Yeah, you might be able to wait. She's not playing it now.
Dead Barry just biting the 4-foot sure would be in a good spot.
Yeah.
But really anywhere buried above the tee line, I think you're pretty happy. And this is interesting because maybe coming into the game, Yoshimura thought we have a chance to beat them, but now they know they have a chance. So the pressure mounts when you know you have a chance to beat a team that is extremely hard to beat. And Rachel's not super used to being in this position the last 2 years where she's got to grind it out. This is heavy though. Ooh, anything but heavy here.
Needs to hit the brakes and the slide path.
This is no bueno. Needs to stop for second.
I don't think it did. It's close, but I think yellow's second.
Can you get to that?
Still not super important because
Probably, we just saw it.
the problem is those 2 center guards. They still have them.
Same weight. Okay.
And hitting one behind the tee line.
And double peel's no good.
The best shot here is the dead freeze for me. Especially if you're second.
Do you ever like the double peel? You just have to make it.
Yeah, it's last end. You have to make whatever you play. Double peel might get the triple.
Same way.
If you knew you were going to make the dead freeze right on the nose. Ooh, Hasselberg's giving up 3. They're going to go extra.
Brent, did your skip ever say to you, you don't have to make this?
No. No. I just knew I didn't have to make some of them. It's getting loud in here on a really important shot for Team Homan.
Okay, no, we're not light. Whoa.
I don't think you want to roll buried here.
It's high.
That's fine.
Nothing wrong with that. You can get inside, though.
For sure. And then the in-off is off of second shot, so not as important. But kind of setting up the old G. Howard shot from the 2009 Briar. If they nose this, you come off yours goes off the back. Oh, another timeout.
Team Black with the 3. Tie things up with Hasselborg onto the extra end. Little broom pump for the crowd, too, from Christina. A couple of years back, the Scotties, Brent, Christina was playing. Everybody was struggling with the ice. I was really impressed with her game. Her in particular, that she handled the conditions better than anybody else. And we heard some griping about what was going on, and she kind of just went about her business.
She kept drawing the inch every time that was needed.
Yep.
And then did catch a break to beat Team Homan in the 3-4. Rachel missed a double that she'll never really, well, not never, but almost never miss. And, but when you get onto ice like that, and especially when you're Rachel and you don't normally have to deal with question marks in your head with throwing shots, she can sometimes when she starts questioning that can, I mean, does it to everybody. starts to put a little bit of doubt in your mind and a little chink in your confidence. And it's like, okay, I think this is what we need to do, or I think this is the plan. So they are playing the freeze here.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised here, Brent, because of that in-off.
Well, it must mean maybe they are lying 2 right now.
Rachel said it was really, I believe her words were, it's really close to being us already. So I think she thinks they're second.
Okay, so maybe this makes sense. Maybe freeze on the low side, then the in-off isn't there.
If you make the hack waiter and roll in, then the in-off is just for 1 because you're playing it off of.
It might come in off the
2.
back one, though.
Yeah, it might jam in.
Ooh, that was a big ad.
Yeah, that's
must have been a
quite a
slow
ways
slide
out.
or it's heavy, because that was a humongous ad. Even if this gets to the nose and bumps it back, though, it needs to get to the nose. Needs to curl.
Yeah, they like it now.
Clean's a good sign. That's
Pretty
pretty good. That in-off is there, though. That little bump. I don't think you have any choice but to play it.
Yeah, that's why I don't like the freeze there, because you're kind of pooped if they make it. How are you not giving up 2 if they make
could
the
do
in-off?
that. That's another option. And
Do you want to use our timeout?
Emma could tap, like Emma's saying, tap, stay on it. Then you've got 2 shots to win, and they can't take both away. They'd have to make a perfect out-turn draw.
If, say, like we hit it too thick.
If you just bump it over.
Coach
I think
Webby?
if I hit it too thick, I'm always going to have a slash.
Okay.
Feels like the in-off is a game winner right now.
Really close. I mean, if you stick it, if you hit it a little too thin, then it comes off the back of the red, and it might leave a pocket on the button. You might lose the game, but
Stay there. Yeah. It's a quarter rock. Okay.
a quarter.
They're really close together, so I don't have time to go down.
I don't see a quarter.
No.
I see a third, maybe.
I
don't want to hit the top of it either. Then we're
half.
in big trouble.
Maybe, though. It's
Maybe
really
she's
hard to
saying
tell.
quarter is bad.
But I think
I'm
a
not sure.
quarter still gets it right there.
Okay.
A quarter looks like it spins to the back of the button at the very least.
And this
But
is the outturn?
they are close
Yeah,
together,
this'll
like she
fall.
said, and she's on the ice, and we're up here in the booth. So I would trust what she says, but want to hit it on the center line side for sure. Spin across, kill that red one. If it's a quarter, then thick would be real bad because it would spin and leave red shot shooting around centers. And
Quarter, we're close.
crowd's into it. It is dead quiet in here. They're watching Rachel right now.
Out-turn, in-off for Rachel Homan.
Yes.
Sweeper's on this immediately. Do not want to be too thin.
Interesting.
Wow.
That looked like she hit a quarter.
It's about what it looked like, yeah.
It's dead frozen, and I can come off theirs.
She needs to kind of, nose, bump and a little bit across the back and roll low. There'll be no double. Damn, I missed the replay. I wanted to see what she hit there. So close.
It looked like a quarter.
Even actually, if she had hit it a little bit thinner, it wouldn't have touched the top, and she would have stayed shot on her own.
Yeah. Hit it just wrong.
The easiest way to make this shot might be that same in-turn draw to the back forefoot, rather than play this, because anything high here, you're going to leave Rachel a double. She's got plenty of air by the guards to hit that. It'd be super, super thin though if you get it to the back four.
Really
so.
thin.
We got time clock action here.
I like this turn, Brent, because you have a couple different ways you can make it that aren't contradictory. Like if you play to the clean draw, it crosses to the low side and you're safe. If you play for backing, it taps it, and you're still probably nose or close to high. So you got some margin for error with this.
She has no margin for error with the time clock, I can tell you that. She's got 22 seconds and no timeouts, but that's lots. You just have to get the rock to the back line, so hold your breath. Not if you're shooting or sweeping, just if you're watching.
Out-turn freeze attempt. Sayaka Yoshimura.
Sweepers jumped it right away. This spot's not swinging like crazy. This needs to curl.
Plenty of weight.
This needs to curl. Almost
Really
need to pick it
needs to
now.
curl.
You need to pick it now. Dirty.
Which they did.
Very dirty. Very dirty. Rachel will not like that. That was not what they were playing, but that
was
turned
mean.
out fantastic. There is a shot for the win, though.
Thin.
Into the top
triple.
of the red. Those all go, and there's a million yellows in there. So there's a shot for the win if she wants to take it on. Just to throw it hard, though. Looks worse on the screen. Looks better as I look onto the ice, but that was mismanaged a little bit. You know, the heart rate gets up in those situations, and as a sweeper, you want to do what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be sweeping. That's why they call you a sweeper. And
Got it.
so Nose gets it done. And we might get some bonus coverage here. And
it's looking that way. Nose hit. Some margin for error on the inside for Rachel Homan. Needs to stick around for a single to force an extra end.
It'll curl. Yeah. Up to speed, eh?
Final rock, 8th end. Rachel Homan playing the in-turn hit and stick. Sweepers on this one early. That'll be just fine from Rachel. So we do get bonus curling in our feature matchup. Homan, Yoshimura tied at 6. Yoshimura will have hammer in the extra end.
There's a place where the world's best curling not only lives, it rocks. Download the new Grand Slam of Curling app and live stream all the action. Get exclusive content, stats, merch, and more. Let's rock.
Distance. Easy. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Upset brewing here in our feature matchup at the Coyote National. Team Yoshimura tied 6-6 with Team Homan extra end. Yoshimura with hammer. Brent, we're going to have to pump Coach Adin's tires even more if his team is able to pull this off. And you know that's the last thing we want to do.
I'm not doing it.
I guess we technically don't have to do it, but...
No. You can't make me. This isn't over yet. Sarah Wilkes with the perfect first center guard. Not only is it on the center line, but it's nice and tight, leaving her lots of room for the second one. And this is a little too deep. Oh, it's pretty good, but a little bit too deep potentially. The next one needs to be right in front of it, just biting the forefoot. And Sarah Wilkes needs this one nice and high, splitting center line. Double extra end action in the women's quarterfinals, hey?
2 6-6 games.
Just this inner stuff.
Team Hasselborg with hammer against Team Black. The adjacent sheet.
Just curl.
Black with a rock on the back of the button and a center guard.
Good. Nice shot.
On third stones. 2 perfect centers from Sarah Wilkes. She's been great all game long.
Good shooting.
Ano Mia very solid on the other side of the coin. Now playing this very important in-turn come around, Brent. So you need to be on the center line, somewhere between top 8, top 4. this is going
They're
deep.
sweeping it past. This isn't good. I think I would have maybe let that die. Tried the curl, but not very good.
Now that will give Homan the opportunity to tap for a pocket. And the all-important shot, Brent, in the extra end, the seconds first, can sometimes be the game winner. This one will not be to get shot rock likely, but to set up can get shot later in the end.
To say exactly what you're saying a different way, it's if you miss it, it can be a game loser.
Yep.
It sets up the game winner, though.
Just curl, we're not even on it.
Needs to be on it. No, that's no good.
Hard line, hard line, hard line.
Hitting by is not helping you.
Hard.
That's no good, and I know it feels terrible, but you have to draw here if you're Yoshimura.
Just want to say curl right away.
You have to draw here.
Yep. And she is.
3/4 of
you have to.
shake down the ice before someone listens. It's very
Yeah, if you don't, Homan's coming right around again and tapping that, and then you're hooped.
Yeah.
You need to take this position away first.
Freeze right on the nose of your red one. You're still shot. They're going to have to try and move it, and it's going to be very difficult to do, and you're still going to be second at least, and then you can start peeling potentially, but that looks hard too. Ooh, this one looks harder. Hit the yellow one at least.
Beating a path down on this line or what, but
could be the excitement of the moment here.
This is deeper than the other one.
This needs to hit that yellow one at least. Get the shooter out of there. Oh, that's accidentally
a little fortunate.
Pretty good. But it doesn't matter what color the one is back button. It's still bad news if you're Yoshimura. So.
Are we shot? Are they shot? Are they shot?
Yeah, and it doesn't matter anyway. You need to move this one top button. Create a pocket. Even if the shooter doesn't have to stay on this anymore. Hit like with back 4, back 8, hit like an 8 for a quarter of this and just make the a big wall.
7, 8, curl to get
Yeah,
a
this
piece.
spot must be getting straighter and faster.
You're getting closer.
Curling.
Yeah, go for weight, go for weight.
I think go for
Hold
line.
the line, hold the line.
Yeah, they've
Go
overcarved
for
this.
weight, go for weight, hard.
They're gonna lock this one in there, Ty.
Now that red is going to be awfully tough to get out now with all those are lined up.
Still not feeling good if you're Yoshimura, but
I mean, you have to draw again in this situation.
I don't know. Now, yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna call in Nick now.
Yeah, let him make the decision.
I'm pretty sure I was right on the last one, Nick, but now what the do we do?
Does opening it up help you now? I mean, it's going to take 2 shots for Rachel to move those as it is, right?
I don't know what to do here. Outturn freeze. Outturn top 8 half open to be usable. It doesn't feel like that's the right shot, but I think it might be.
I think we're sitting okay for now. Like if we ever want to have a chance of peeling the guards, we should do it now. But I think maybe it's.
This is the only chance to peel, as Nick
make
said.
it more difficult for them. Kind of freeze one on top, maybe from the other side. And it's okay to stay a little high, so if they can't freeze tap from this side, we always have the angle on them. But
Oh, it's nice to know I was right.
Good, I think,
Nick
as
confirmed it.
Well, you turned your comms on, didn't you?
I think so.
He heard
Or
you.
if you can get
No,
it
he
from
doesn't
here,
listen
but
to
if you
me.
only line it up from this side, they're just going to hit it, and then the red goes out that way. So that they can open up a pocket. From this side, the red is always sticking onto the 6. So if we can stay kind of in the A, between A and M, so it's half open on that side, it's fine.
That would be
All the way
perfect.
to a freeze is fine. They're going to do something from this side, but if they roll out, maybe we can get a crutch.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
we aim to here, but it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, a little high side to be
You may
useful
see an
is good.
entire extra end played without a peel here, Brent.
Good chance now. I
Yeah.
mean, and it was just those heavy draws, and I think what Nick said, and even if this is top 12, as long as the line is good, I don't think it needs to be right in there. And then as Adine said, you know, they're going to play something. They're going to bump and try and create a pocket. They're going to still leave you shot, and then you might have a double off their shooter if they roll off, or you'll have a little slash with this one you're putting here. Christina Black has a really good steal opportunity against Hasselberg. This needs to be a lot harder than that, though. This is way too high.
Yeah, Black on her last shot, or her first, threw it in the rings, and Hasselborg missed the double attempt.
That needed to be in the rings.
Yeah, that's way too short.
Too easy.
Hasselborg will have a back ring tap for the win.
This is over curling. You don't want this to be lost. You almost want this to chip the guard now. So he needs to get off of it. Get it off there. I don't think that is okay. That's not okay at all.
It's not great. Oof. Rachel can ever make this intern tap now.
Even if you tap and roll to there, we got options.
I think that's the shot. You need enough speed.
Yep.
But it is pretty buried.
14-5 to tee.
If we crash the guard back in, we open it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yoshimura is going to switch to guarding soon.
Okay.
The good news for Yoshimura right now is it's 2 shots for Team Homan to get shot rock. Bumping this doesn't get the red one off the button, but the next bump would.
Line's great.
Intern tap for Tracy Fleury, trying to unlock this red stone on the button.
Hard! Whoa! Close!
Doesn't want the dreaded feather tick here.
Hard, Sarah! We're on the guard. Gotta move it.
Doesn't move it far. Too far for the in-off. Trouble. Can Rachel get... I know she can throw lots of spin and throw it hard. Can she get off that one and into the back? I don't think so.
Anna Hasselborg makes the tap for the win against Christina Black. Tight matchup over there, but Hasselborg advances to the semifinals as well.
So 3 of the top seeds win. I guess Anderson and Fuji were same seed coming in, but
Hasselborg will take on Carrie Anderson in the semifinals. The winner of our matchup will take on Team Kim in the other semifinal.
Again, I'm not sure what I like here. I think it's a guard, a high guard. I don't know, though. It seems
The in-off is there to move that red stone. You
think so?
It's thick, but you only have to move it a half a foot to get shot. I think you need to come in.
A guard, you could guard both, though.
Yeah, you could throw it on the draw path and take away the in-off.
High, though. You don't want Rachel running this or Tracy running this one in. Anything into that top 4 yellow is going to leave yellow shot now. It's going to have some speed. Before you couldn't get shot because you couldn't hit it hard, but this is sliding.
It's starting to hit the brakes now.
No, this is no good. That is much too deep. That's a good line, but that's no good.
Yeah, Rachel is hammering that in immediately, I would
That's coming
think.
in, and any contact on that yellow is going to leave yellow shot.
Real thin.
Yeah, that's the angle that they
You
needed.
want to come look at
So
it?
now they've
Real thin. What is she talking about?
they've created a situation where it only takes 1 shot to get shot rock, where it would have taken 2, even if they would have made the previous shot.
She's thinking across the top.
You're trying to run this in onto which side?
Right here.
Okay.
Okay,
It's
I
a
don't.
quarter rock. You don't want to run it into this side?
Yeah, I think Tracy's right here.
Drag it a little bit that way to pop it a little bit.
I just don't ever want to do this.
Yeah.
Like, this side of it's really good because then we can always tap it.
Okay. Okay.
What kind of weight do you want to throw? Normal?
My thought was what Tracy was saying, running into the left side or even jam
Are
it
we
on
trying
there.
to squirt that red out of there, or?
Yeah.
I don't know that you
I thought
can.
Keo to try to move it, but.
You definitely can
Okay.
squirt it out of there if this one hits the
Okay.
yellow one
Okay.
on the left side. But I don't know how far your yellow one goes. And what Rachel's saying is on that side, the red one just goes into the other yellow. And you might clear out everything in the forefort, but I don't think that's necessarily bad if you're Homan at this point. Here's what I do know. You need to make contact on this yellow one. Any contact on the yellow is going to give you a chance.
In-turn run for Tracy Fleury. Trying to remove that red shot stone on the top of the button.
Yep. Hard! Hard, Sarah!
Ooh, this is gone.
Hard!
Oh, it's not gone. Ooh, that's pretty good. Rachel, stop talking like it was gone.
Yeah, that red does stick, though.
Yeah, and it killed that and might even go over to the
Yeah,
other
you
yellow.
can just nose hammer that, and both yellows are gone.
Important to keep your shooter there.
Yep. Yeah, right on the nose.
Is the piece gone? Oh, it's a big piece gone. She's
Oh, yeah.
playing this with
Way
speed,
less than we
actually.
thought, yeah.
It might drag into that back red. It won't stay there. It'll kill it. Red would lie too, though. That's the key. Rachel will have this out turn come around, though.
You pop on that release. That might be gone. Yeah, playing the other one now.
That doesn't help them, though.
Oof, that was a mile wide on that throw. Just really seemed like she rushed that one, Brent. Like they got in the hack really fast and threw that.
Lots of time. Pressure does different things to different people, and you know it's not only the pressure of a Grand Slam quarterfinal, but the pressure of beating the best team in the world. And now Rachel's looking good to win this game. That out-turn draw to the side of the button is tough, although Saka did throw that in. What end was that? Last time we came this way, which would have been 7. Wasn't that her draw for 2?
Yeah, she did play that path.
Or was that in 5? Either way, she has thrown it, but that's not the shot you want to win.
Okay, 1.5, guys.
So probably wherever this goes, she's going to run it. Try and hit it into that red one.
Hold the line a little if you can.
Line's good.
Crowd's into it here.
Let it stop.
Okay, 1.5. Line's good.
Higher the better, is Rachel saying, because she knows that
Just 1.5.
Yoshimura is going to run this one probably into that red one.
Yep.
Yeah, can't leave a hole, but
Good spot.
Little bit.
pretty good.
Yeah, you're still running that in.
Or you draw twice. Out-turn draw, she peels it, out-turn draw again.
Half a second.
And if you did come up short on the draw, you'd have both sides. You'd have this one, she'd have to guard it, and then you'd have this runner for the win. That might make some sense, actually. Miss this one on the nose and not hit the back one.
And then Rachel takes the draw path away on the other side, and you're playing the hit and roll off the yellow for the win.
I think this is still it, though.
Don't mind either. Really nice to make this one now.
Looks like just like a millimeter high. Dead on the nose might get it. Don't want to cross it by anything. It'll just miss the back. So
Yeah, I think if you can hit it just a touch high, then you take the in off away too.
I think my challenge is that if you do make this, it's not actually very good because the whole 4-foot's open and there's 19 center guards. And Rachel makes the out-turn draw and you don't even have a shot to get it. For that reason, I think I'd like the out-turn draw top 8, so you have 2 shots. And you're definitely going to have a shot to win. So if you're going to play it,
Yoshimura playing the run.
You're going to play it, you want to make it. Sit for the in-off, sit for the in-off, sit for the in-off. Okay. Options. That's a really flat one, but I think she can get to the yellow.
She's going to have a shot for the win. Rachel can't take everything away.
At least she opened up that hit on the yellow, which is her easiest one. I think it's just a straight guard, and you hope she can't draw the the button with the out-turn.
I wondered
Owen
about
calls
trying to choke
timeout
that
to
off
chat
too.
here.
She's got some options with that. I know. Could come here.
You could draw. You need to be absolutely perfect, though. I don't love
For
that.
here, I don't think she can score. Yeah.
Webby, straighten him out.
You're not. I just feel like she has so many options with this, no? Like she can get the red, she can get.
Okay, so we want to go.
I don't know.
We want to go there.
What do you
So
think?
Tracy's worried about this tight red one. Because they made that double, they opened up the tight red
I think
one that
so. Yeah,
into
we
the
don't want
red
to
would kill
overcurl
it.
it, like Emma said, and leave an edge
But
there.
all the reds are moving. I guess
don't know.
they must be second and third.
What do you think?
Or straight into the yellow gets it.
Right here. Okay.
Yeah, Tracy's thought is there's
I
3
wouldn't
different
mind a
ways you can
fraction
make
more
that
ice.
run.
Okay.
You can
Do you
just
like
make
that,
it to
Tracy?
the pick.
Yeah. Okay.
on
So you
Shot
can always
Rock.
finish that. Yeah.
You can make it to...
There's a big difference between those two shots, though. If you're in between, you're just going to hit it into the red and pick the red and leave the yellow.
You could pick the red into the side yellow.
And then it rolls side 4? That would send Rachel to the moon. But I don't think it ever rolls back to the bite.
Yeah, it might roll deep.
Like, we don't want to give her the tap.
I agree with Rachel. Let's take away the really
we don't
easy
have to
shot,
touch
which
center.
is just contact on that
I don't
red.
think we want to touch her. That's too much.
Let's not go so cute here that we go right in there. And
Yeah, just make the adjustment. I think you guys could have set that at 3, though.
I agree. This
Okay.
will run quite as fast.
Okay.
Homan playing the intern guard. Want this tight, if not top ring.
Too much. Too much.
try too hard to get it tucked to take away the red one, and you might leave the edge of the top 8 red one, which would be no good.
Trying to tuck a piece so they don't have the short run, too.
Pretty good. Nice.
I think that's good.
It is very good.
Just over curled. Just over curled.
So now it's preference for Yoshimura, the draw or the hit and roll. She's eyeballing the draw. Again, Brent, you mentioned she did play this path earlier in the game.
It wasn't for the win, though, and it wasn't, it didn't look this bad.
That button looks a mile away in this situation when you're trying to take down the #1 team in the world, move on to the semifinals. They already beat the #2 ranked team this week. Looking for a pretty big victory.
I'll say this, I will be very impressed if they make this shot. Not only do you have to throw it well, you got to sweep it right, you got to have the line right. I will be very impressed. Very difficult shot to win here.
Deep breath from Yoshimura. Out-turn draw to the side of the button for the win against Rachel Homan.
Don't start clapping until she lets it go. Looked heavy.
Plenty of line right now.
I think it will always curl enough. I don't think that she'd ever draw the T line and not curl enough.
Weight's really close here.
They like it. A lot of pressure on the sweepers now. A lot
Starting
of
to
pressure
curl.
on the sweepers.
Gotta get by.
They lost the line.
Yeah. Weight was almost perfect, but over curls. Homan steals for the win. She will move on to the semifinals. Fantastic game both ways. Brent, have to be impressed with Team Yoshimura after beating Tirinzoni to qualify, an eyelash away from taking down Rachel Homan. But that will be a final. Team Homan, the 7-6 victory over Team Yoshimura. Will be back for the men's semifinals, 4 o'clock Newfoundland time. Brent and I will be right back here in the booth. So for myself and Brent Lang, we will see you at 4 o'clock.